You know, everybody talks about 4th of July being the big summer holiday. Well, you know, there's another one in the baseball world, and that's called All-Star Week. And we are one day away from the beginning of the All-Star break here for the Atlantic League. But you know what that means? There's still one more game of regular season baseball to play before that, and we're glad to be here with you for it. Good afternoon. I'm Kendrick Fruits along with Kevin McMahon. Excited to be spending our Sunday afternoon at the ballpark with you. Spend it with some High Point Rockers, Somerset Patriots baseball. Spend it with 14 All-Stars here combined between the two teams. And Kevin, before we jump into all that news, why don't we talk about last night? I think our hearts are still racing from the excitement that we saw at the ballpark yesterday.
It was really special. What we have here today is, like you said, the last game of both teams before the All-Star game. Also, a deciding game in this series to see who's going to win the series. It's 1-1 apiece, and that plays a big role when it comes to the tiebreaker overall in the end of the series, at the end of the season, because I talked to Mark Schwartz, the broadcaster of the Patriots, and he was telling me the Rockers have a 1-game lead over them right now. So if the Rockers are going to win here tonight, they get they'll have a 2-win lead, and that could play for big things. But your question was last night. I didn't answer your question. What a great outing for Joe Van Meter, 11 strikeouts, and I always talk about my heart breaking for the pitcher if they don't get a win. Well, he didn't get a win, but he didn't pick up that loss last night, which is when your heart breaks for a pitcher. And how did it happen? All by the long ball. This team is a team that they can score other ways. We saw on July 4th and the night before that when Matt Jones had a walk-off hit. They can do it with keeping the ball in the park. But last night it was 3 home runs. Steven Cardullo with one to start it off in the first inning. And then in the 9th inning, it was Tyler Ladendorf against fellow All-Star Mike Antonini, one of, if not the best closer in the Atlantic League. He has the best record. He was 25 for 29, and now he is 25 for 30 after last night when it comes to saves. And it was Tyler Ladendorf who hit a solo home run to tie it, and then the king, Quincy Lattimore. And this place, you know, there was fireworks last night, and there was a huge offensive explosion, 2 home runs in a row to send everybody home happy. And this team, they felt good going into the break, but regardless of what happens here today, they needed that. You can look back and feel great if you're the Rockers.
This entire homestand has been one of pitchers' duels. Tyler Herron back on Tuesday, a fantastic game. You talk about Dominic DeMasi going into the 9th inning on Wednesday. Another good one on Thursday. I believe that was Seth Simmons starting that game, and back around Edwin Carl, Joe Van Meter. All the Rockers starters during this homestand have put out quality starts, but so have all the pitchers that they've faced with the Barnstormers and the Patriots. You want to talk about Brett Oberholzer, a nice game. Kyle Davies and Alabadejo for the Barnstormers. And yesterday, you got to give a shout-out, to Thomas Dormany going deep into that ball game and racking up a bunch of strikeouts. The impressive thing to me, both starters yesterday went 7+ innings, no walks allowed.
Unreal. One thing that is very present in this league, Kendrick, is great pitching. Very rarely, I'm trying to remember. I don't think I've seen a pitcher get really rocked early yet in Atlantic League. Rarely do you see guys get knocked out in the 2nd and 3rd inning. It just doesn't happen. It's a high sock Sunday, and your Rockers are wearing high socks and specialty custom socks. That's what they wear every Sunday. I can't get a look at what these are. They have stars on them. And
I think it's like an all-star theme going
all-star,
on,
and they're continuing the 4th of July and the American themes as well.
Looking sharp out there on the field. Also looking sharp this year, Ryan Cushmal, the starting pitcher for the visiting Somerset Patriots. He's 1-2 on the year, just 4 starts so far on the campaign, but a really nice 2.95 earned run average. He's had a nice season. He pitched actually with the Long Island Ducks back in 2015. Spent some time in the minor leagues. If you recognize that name, he was with the Winston-Salem Dash a few seasons ago. So, you know, this is a guy who's pretty familiar with North Carolina, and North Carolinians be fairly familiar with him. His last start, July 2nd, 6 innings in that one. Picked up a no decision, but 6 innings, of 2-hit shutout baseball. So this is a guy who's really feeling it right now. Left with a 1-0 lead. Obviously, the Patriots couldn't quite hold that one. But he's facing Tyler Herron today, 2-4 on the year for him. ERA just over 4.6. But before we get to that, I want to just break down a couple of things, the All-Star game and this series and what it's meant for both of these teams. You had a chance to sit down with the voice of the Patriots, Mark Schwartz, this morning before the game and get his take on a few things, especially including his little moment in the spotlight earlier this season. So here's Kevin McMahon talking to Mark Schwartz this morning.
Hey, Rockers fans, it's Kevin McMahon, and we have a nice little treat today. We have Mark Schwartz with us. He's the voice of the Patriots, and other broadcasters have done interviews with you said, because of your recent fame, but this is the most important one because it came off the bat of Stephen Cardulo. So this is full circle.
That's right. You know what? Everything wouldn't have happened if Cardulo didn't hit that ball absolutely perfectly as a foul.
So let's start there. I feel like we'll touch on this series and everything else. Mark's been great. I've been really annoying and ask him every question because I'm trying to get my my Atlantic League fluency up. I'm trying to speak the language. I'm learning a new language, basically, with all the rules and everything. But I guess it's something you think about. You know, it would be fun to catch a foul ball, but like you sometimes don't even think about it because it sounds so crazy. For people who don't know, how right does everything have to be? The window has to be open. It has to be a nice night. I mean, there's so many things. You have to be paying attention. You have to not be looking at a note. Like how, like that's like lottery number style.
Yeah, it's crazy how everything worked out with that. I mean, I think we're probably the only park in the league that has a fence that's low enough as the backstop to actually allow that to happen. And for the pitch to be in the right spot and for the bat to hit the ball at the right spot and to have it have the perfect trajectory, not only to get over the backstop, but to come right into the broadcast booth. And I was lucky because the ball wasn't hit high above me. It wasn't hit low. It was right in the breadbasket. So all I had to do was reach out my hands and make the catch. If I had to reach up or reach to the sides or low or anything, I probably don't make the catch. So the chances of it being on that perfect line right to me, I mean, I'm not a mathematician. I don't know, but they got to be pretty slim.
And so then you make the decision split second as you catch it. Okay, I'm going with this. I'm taking this all the way.
Well, I mean, what happens, there's a couple of thoughts that were running through my mind at the time. One, I'm on the air, so I have to describe what's going on. That was the play that was happening, so I'm going to describe it to the best of my ability. And two, be the way that our ballpark is situated, the fans that are in attendance, they can see it. They're looking at me as it happened. So I'm trying to be entertaining for the listeners on the broadcast, as well as trying to be a ham and be a little entertaining for the people that are in the ballpark as well that just saw me catch it. And some of our fans that are there, they know my personality, and I just tried to have fun. I never thought that what I said and what I did would resonate with so many people and go viral, but I'm pretty happy that it did.
No, it was awesome. And, yeah, I'm glad that they enjoyed it because we all really enjoyed it down here. And we even shared it. We're like, the Rockers went viral, kind of, but it's basically Mark and the Patriots. But what all happened? I saw Jimmy Fallon, ESPN. I mean, you were Kimmel, one of the late night guys, one of the Jimmys. But you were all over the place.
Yeah, it was Jimmy Kimmel. It was on ESPN. I wound up getting an interview out of SportsCenter. Randy Scott on ESPN2 interviewed me. It was on MLB Network. I was getting emails from all of these different TV affiliates around the entire country. It was on some prominent New York, New Jersey radio stations as well. It was on CNN. It was on the front page of CNN for a while. I mean, it was just crazy how much play it got. And I was getting emails and texts and Twitter notifications and Facebook messages and all of that kind of stuff from everybody that I've known over the past 15 years reaching out. It was just a wild experience.
Well, that's awesome, and you even got those magnificent T-shirts that they made, which are awesome. Let's shift our focus now to the series a little bit. First question I'll ask is, I'll just ask you a few more. We're doing it during the World Cup here, and I'm taking our eyes off here. How have you liked your time here at High Point so far, and what do you think of the Rockers being in the league as the guy who's been here in the league for a little while? Kind of all happened very quickly.
Yeah, no, it did happen quickly, but I've loved my time here. you and everyone else with the Rockers organization has been really helpful, really kind. We were able to take your in-house video feed and use it for our broadcast yesterday, which was amazing. So I've been very appreciative of everyone with the Rockers for all of their help. I was excited to get down here. It's the newest ballpark. I'm a big fan of commercial architecture, so I was following the progress of the construction of this place, so it's cool to actually see it, and it's beautiful. I mean, the ballpark is gorgeous. It's a little bit of an adjustment with an all-turf field, but aside from that, I mean, everything's just, the facilities are awesome. The scoreboard in right field is awesome. And I'll tell you what, last year in the Liberty Division, the fourth team in the league, after the Patriots, the Ducks, and the Bees, they were the Road Warriors. And the Road Warriors struggled. So it always kind of felt like it was a given win. But you guys coming in, the High Point Rockers, and Jamie Keefe, he's put together quite a roster. And it's great to see the elevation of talent in the league progress even further.
All right, we'll go live here. We'll do a little play-by-play here. World Cup, yeah, penalty kick. We gotta take a pause. I'm not even gonna pause it.
Hey!
Oh, nice! There it is.
Nice.
Well, that might be it. That might be the one that takes us all the way. And Mark had to talk to some schmuck in a booth while that was happening. But last question for you. This is pretty remarkable. Last question for you. When we get into the playoff, I don't even know what I'm talking about. What do you think of the All-Stars on your team in general? What do you think of the two All-Stars who we've seen on our side and on your side? And we got to see a couple guys go at it last night, and Antonini and Ladendorf. That was pretty special.
Yeah, I mean, that was a really exciting conclusion for the game last night. Obviously, it was a better conclusion for the Rockers than it was for the Patriots. That loss eliminated us from winning a first-half championship. Antonini's been tremendous this season. He's blown now 3 saves in the last week, which is unfortunate, but he's still on pace to set a single-season Atlantic League record in saves. Quincy Lattimore, we saw Quincy back up in Somerset earlier in the season, and he put together a bunch of really nice swings, and boy, he got all of it last night. And that's the kind of games that the Patriots and the Rockers have had this season. There haven't been really any blowouts. They've been close games. The season series right now, I believe High Point has a 1-game lead in the overall season series, so it's been close games. It's been well-pitched games. Last night was a beautifully pitched game from Van Meter, who had a perfect game through 5, and Dormany, who threw a season-high 7 in the third. So it was an exciting game to call, a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to an exciting season series finale tonight.
Yeah, it should be fun. People kind of think, oh, well, both are out. This is still a big game because the second half it can play a big role. Or it switches over, I guess, but momentum-wise. And wild card, potentially.
It is important for a couple of reasons. One, now that the Ducks have already clinched one spot in the Atlantic League postseason, looking towards the second half, there's a good chance that the Rockers and the Patriots will be fighting for positioning. And even if the Ducks win the second half, then it opens up a wild card spot, and you have to look at the overall record over the entire season. And if there is a situation where the Rockers and the Patriots are close, you're going to have to look at the overall season series as the tiebreaker. And right now, the Rockers have a 1-game lead over the Patriots for that season series tiebreaker. So this game today is very important because if the Patriots, granted it doesn't take into account towards the first half, but if the Patriots win, then the season series is tied with 2 more trips down here to High Point. If the Patriots lose and the High Point Rockers win, then you guys have a 2-game lead in the season series, which could be very important come tiebreakers at the end of the year.
That's something we'll have to look forward to and focus on today. But, Mark, thank you for letting me grab you and bother you, and thanks for talking to us.
Yeah, no problem at all. Thanks for the time.
So we thank Mark Schwartz for taking the time to talk to us today. Thank you, Kevin, of course, for conducting that interview as well. A couple things he said there that we do need to mention. Obviously, with the way things shook out yesterday, the Long Island Ducks did win the division for the first half of the 2019 Atlantic League season. The Freedom Division still all up for grabs. Sugarland and the York Revolution, just 1 game separates them. York and Lancaster have a doubleheader today. First game just underway. Barnstormers with a 2-0 lead there. So lots of stuff up for grabs in the Freedom Division. We'll keep an eye on that. But another thing he mentioned is just how important these games are. Sure, the first half is decided here in the Liberty Division, but these games really, they mean a lot when it comes to second half, when you talk about tiebreakers and when you talk about season standings, because there's just a lot of things that could go on in the second half. But all in all, at least for the High Point Rockers today, for an afternoon, they can put all the tiebreaker talk aside, put all that, the scenarios aside. Just go out there and play baseball. Go win a baseball game today. It's a beautiful afternoon. You've got All-Stars going to Pennsylvania next week. Go out and just go play a ball game today.
And we saw that take place last night where the Rockers didn't have to worry about scores or standings or the Ducks or the Sugarland Skeeters or anybody last night except for the High Point Rockers. And when they can just worry about themselves, they tend to do better. And when they can just let go and realize this is baseball, this is fun, this is the game that they love, and it's all about them, boy, do they play great. And that was a team that was loose last night, and I think it's such a good thing that they won last night because they played so well. You would have hated for all of that good momentum that they could have had to be wasted. Luckily, they were able to come out and get the win.
Yeah, absolutely. We talked again about the long ball being the story of the game. Cardullo goes deep to lead off the first inning for the Rockers. Then it takes all the way to the end in the ninth inning before Ladendorf and Lattimore go back-to-back for the walk-off. So just a couple minutes here before first pitch, Kevin. Real quickly, your keys to the game for the High Point Rockers to win today.
Stay loose. Get a good start from Tyler Herron. Puts a little pressure on Herron after how great you talk about. You've really hit this, and I agree with you. It's been great. The competitive nature that appears to be very present amongst starting pitchers because each guy tends to have a follow that attitude, and each guy follows each other and does well. Damasi came out and continued great pitching. And then, of course, Van Meter came out. This is interesting. Damasi has 9 strikeouts, so he broke the record for single-game strikeouts. Van Meter had 8 at one point and now has 11 as of last night. The first guy to set the record was Herron with 7. So all these guys are involved in that record and strikeout guys. Herron is as well. And so get a good start in for the Rockers, something they haven't done this series or this homestand, but attack early. If you can get on the board early, that's when you're going to be in your best spot. And I'm going to say the same thing for the Somerset Patriots. When Brett Oberholzer was on the mound, we saw it work for the Patriots flawlessly. Come out here and get a big lead. Get a 2-3 lead and make life really difficult because you go 2 or 3 runs is not a big lead. It is a big lead when you have spectacular starting pitching, and I think that's what we're going to see tonight. Those 2 and 3 run leads can turn into 5 and 6 run leads in your head.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one other thing to keep in mind too. You talk about. You hear a lot that hitting is contagious, how one hit seems to follow another, seems to follow another. Pitching is too. Starters want to keep the momentum going, and we'll see Tyler Herron try to do that today. And you don't want to get into the bullpen. That's a big thing for me. Other than Antonini blowing the save yesterday, very good bullpens on both sides. We've talked about them all series, and that's going to be a big factor tonight. We're just about ready to get things going. We're getting set here for the national anthem, so we're going to step aside for that. When we come back, we'll take a look at lineups, and we have first pitch on beautiful Sunday afternoon. It's High Point Rockers baseball next. Here's the national anthem.
And join us in the singing of our national anthem, performed today by Lauren Joe.
It is a privilege and an honor that I dedicate this song to my brother, United States Marine Sergeant Brandon Michael Verstadt, and to all the men and women who have served and who are serving in our armed forces. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the
All right, well, all that's left now is a couple of pre-game warm-up tosses, and we're going to get things ready to go here. Kendrick Fruits, Kevin McMahon with you as we kick off the beginning of the end, I guess, of the first half. It's the beginning of the final game before we hit All-Star break. Let's go ahead and set the batting lineup for the Somerset Patriots. Again, they come into today with a 41-28 record, which is a game and a half behind Long Island, but more importantly, a half game ahead of the High Point Rockers. So, Kevin, again, we're trying not to talk postseason stuff and wild card stuff, but a Rockers win today flips them in the standings and puts the Rockers in the driver's seat. We'll talk more about that as we go. But the starting lineup, Craig Massey leads off. He'll be the second baseman tonight. Jimmy Paredes will bat second and be in right field. Will Kinger, the designated hitter, bats in the 3 slot. Edwin Espinal, first base, bats cleanup. Dario Pisano will bat 5th and play left field. Michael Krause in center field. He'll be the number 6 man. Ray Navarro, third base, will bat 7th. Scott Kelly at shortstop will bat 8th. And Gabriel Bracamonte will catch and bat 9th.
Before I forget, can I set the defense for us? Is
Go
it too
for it.
early?
Go
Okay.
for
We got Almodovar out there in left field. Miles Schroeder will be in center field. Tyler Marinkov in right. And I'll take you from first to third here. Cardulo at first. Michael Russell will be playing second base. Shortstop, it's going to be Tyler Ladendorf. Hector Gomez at third. Frank Nigro is catching. On the mound, you have Tyler Herron. I know he's not in the field, but your DH, and if you're wondering where he is, that's Vio Sergio Rosa.
Tyler Herron's numbers as he's about ready to deliver the first pitch to Massey. Herron 2-4, 4.61 earned run average on the year, 41 strikeouts in 68 innings. And the first pitch to Massey is we're underway here on a Sunday afternoon. It's in there for a called strike. A concerning number, though, for Herron. Opponents hit 303 off of him, so a big thing for him is to be able to get soft contact today. Here's the 0-1 to Massey. Swung on and hit a high fly ball to shallow left center field. Going back is the shortstop Ladendorf, and he will put it away, out number 1. Good start for Herron.
Such a good job of communicating by Ladendorf. That's a tough ball if you don't get an early read on it. That can be one that drops down in the middle of 3 guys, and we saw that happen last night for Giovanni Alfonso. He was on the benefiting end of that, was able to get a single to bloop in, and Ladendorf showing the expertise he has in the infield and made the catch.
That'll bring up the big lefty Jimmy Paredes. The Patriots have shifted their lineup around a little bit today. First pitch to Paredes, off speed, stays up high. This is a guy we saw bat a little bit further in the lineup. He's moved all the way up to second.
You know what we really haven't seen? And you can tell me if I'm wrong, I don't think we've seen Paredes bat with a bunch of guys on base yet.
No, the Rockers starters have done a good job limiting base runners. Here's the 1-0 from Herron. That's down and in. And the count now 2-0.
You know this guy is capable of big hits and clutch hits. If you're a Patriots fan, you would love to see this guy in a spot like that.
260 average for Paredes. 3 home runs, 13 runs driven in, swings and hits a ground ball down the first base side foul. Former Houston Astro, Philadelphia Philly. He was on the Astros that the dismal years, if you will, 2011, 2012, back when the team was winning 50 and 60 games.
Those years that set up the 2017 year.
They sure did. There's a hard ground ball just inside the foul line. Rosa takes it himself. Check that. Cardulo takes it himself. And that is out number 2.
Steven Cardulo is so great. You would think he's at first base every day of the year the way he made that play, and he's everywhere. He's left fielder, first base, and I bet you if they really needed him, even though we have a tremendous bullpen, he could go out there and throw in a few innings or two. I mean, he feels he's that helpful.
He's giving Rosa the half day off today. First pitch to Will Kinger, up and in. Kinger, a .335 hitter, 7 home runs. He's driven in 39. He's made it to AAA in the Major League scale. Here's the pitch, swung on and fouled back out of play. Beautiful weather today, 89 degrees, partly cloudy skies. In fact, I'd venture to say mostly cloudy, but not really any threat of rain today. We'll have just a bit of cloud cover throughout the afternoon. By the time we finish today, temperature will be about 88, so really not going to dip down any this afternoon. We'll about stay steady where we are as that one's fouled up and out of play. But the good thing is some of the clouds look a little gray, but no rain expected, Kev. We should be good to go today.
I was out in the stands with the people watching the FIFA World Cup earlier.
Congrats to our women, by the way.
Yeah, except for the goal that you heard scored during our interview.
Here's the 1-2, swung on and fouled straight back to the screen.
After we wrapped up, I went outside and said, I want to be outside for the next one. I knew one more was coming, and it did. But I say all that to say it is hot. It is hot out there. It is warm.
You'll see a very left-handed heavy lineup again tonight against Tyler Heron. That's exactly what the Patriots have rolled off here. Here's the 1-2, breaking ball stays down, and Kinger does not chase. The catcher, Frank Nigro, points out to Heron and says, hey, that's all right. It's a good miss. That's where I wanted you to throw that pitch.
Between the Barnstormers and the Patriots, these Rockers pitchers will be excited to see some right-handed batters sometime soon.
Heron kicks and deals. Here's the 2-2, just a bit inside. Nigro holds the frame but doesn't get the call. Counts full.
Because they have seen a fair share of left-handers here, Kendrick.
3 straight to start off the game, and
Wow.
The man on deck, Edwin Espinal, also a lefty. Here's the 3-2 from Tyler Heron. Swung on, and that's driven deep into center field. Racing back is Schroeder, looking up, and it's over the wall, home run. And Will Kinger gets the scoring started here in the top of the first inning with a solo shot. And I'll tell you what, that is the furthest part of this ballpark to hit one.
I was just going to say, hit to the absolute deepest part of the ballpark. I think it was Ladendorf who had the ball leave the park yesterday on a bounce, but that one is the furthest one to leave through the air that you can measure. That's probably 403 he hit that one.
Here is Edwin Espinal playing first base today. 284 hitter, 3 home runs, 27 driven in, and he laces this one into the right center field gap. Should be 2. He slows down at first base, but the ball rolls all the way to the wall, and Espinal has an easy stand-up double. So he high steps it into second base.
He was enjoying that one. And you talk about hitting and pitching being contagious. We're seeing hitting being contagious. We saw it carrying over. It's carrying over from last night, except for the Patriots. We saw the Rockers take advantage. A solo home run by Ladendorf, and Lattimore turned that into a solo shot of his own. That one, of course, ended the game. And Tyler Heron rattled off 2 quick outs. He looked pretty good. Even the 2 outs didn't look very dangerous. And then a big home run and a double, and now has his hands full and is going to try to get Pisano out now.
2 out hits can do you in. Heron trying to limit the damage here to 1 run in the top of the first inning. Espinal takes his lead off of second. The new hitter, Dario Pisano. And the first pitch in there for a called strike. Pisano, a 211 hitter with no home runs, just 4 runs driven in. Obviously take that with a grain of salt. He's only played 10 games so far. So not a big sample size for the left-handed hitting outfielder. Tyler Heron comes set about shoulder high, kicks and delivers the 0-1. Swung on and grounded over towards second base where Michael Russell is, and throws to first in time for the final out of the inning. So the Patriots are retired, but not before a solo shot by Will Kinger gets the scoring started. It's the Patriots 1 and your High Point Rockers coming to bat next. This is High Point Rockers Baseball.
This is John Lauder, host of The Cheap Seats here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, The Cheap Seats, where we talk about sports from the fans' perspective. A new show comes out every Monday. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of The Cheap Seats. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Hi, this is Emily.
This is Lindsay.
And this is Elizabeth,
co-hosts of Beauties and Headcanons here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Once you are done with this episode, we hope you'll come check out our show, Beauties and Headcanons, where we talk nerdy to you about fandoms, fan fiction, and all pop culture for nerds that you can think of. A new show comes out every Friday.
Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Beauties and Headcanons. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
A little bit different of a lineup for the High Point Rockers tonight, but still a lineup that can do some damage, and they've got a early 1-0 deficit to try to climb out of. Here is the way that Jamie Keefe sends out his squad today. Stephen Cardullo, the right fielder, or the first baseman rather, leads off. Miles Schroeder at center field will bat second. Tyler Ladendorf, the shortstop, bats in the 3 spot. Your designated hitter tonight, Vio Sergi Rosa, will bat cleanup. Hector Gomez, the third baseman, slides up in the order, and he'll bat 5th today. Michael Russell at second base hits in the 6th hole. Tyler Marincove is in right field, and he'll be in the 7th slot. Breland Almadova, the left fielder, bats 8th, and Frank Nigro, the catcher, bats 9th. We talked a little bit about Ryan Cushmall, the starting pitcher for the Patriots. In the pregame show, we mentioned how he's coming off 6 innings of scoreless baseball, just allowed 2 hits in his last start on July 2nd. His total numbers on the year, we mentioned, only made 4 starts so far this year. This is his 5th. He's 1-2, but with a very impressive 2.95 earned run average. He struck out 13 in 21 innings, so he's not going to get a whole lot of swing and misses. So the High Point Rocker is going to try to capitalize on that. He's also given up 2 home runs in 4 starts. Stephen Cardullo steps in, 259 hitter, 10 home runs, 40 runs driven in, which those 10 home runs are second on the team. The 40 RBIs are good enough for the team lead. So the righty Cushmall ready. Wiggles the glove a little bit, turns and fires. He side slings it, and it's going to miss just downstairs, ball 1. Cardullo, right-handed hitter. He's one of the Rockers' 7 All-Stars. And Cushmall deals in there, strike 2. Cushmall has a little bit of an interesting delivery. He's got some deception at the top of it. He kind of turns his back towards the plate. Not quite as obvious as, say, a Louis Tiant, the way that Johnny Cueto tries to imitate, but just enough of a turn that he hides the baseball really long, and it takes a while for the hitter to locate it. Here's the pitch, swung on, and blooped into right field. Picking it up on a hop is Massey. The throw on to first, it's close, just in time. Looked like Cardullo might have tripped over the bag a little bit there, but he's retired by about a half step to lead off the first inning.
His last step. And here comes Billy Horn. Because he thinks that was close. I think he stepped over the back, but I think he touched it. It was really close. Because Billy Horn was in the dugout. That's Bubba Birdsong out there on the base pass today, and or being the base coach, I should say. So Billy was in the dugout and had a really good look at it. So that's probably the best spot to see it, wouldn't you say?
Well, yeah, and certainly it's not an interference situation because we've talked about it before. They have bigger bases this year, so plenty of space for both Espinal and Cardullo to occupy the bag. Miles Schroeder, the center fielder, comes up to bat now. He's a 258 hitter, 5 home runs, 27 driven in. After a little bit of excitement here to start the first inning, he swings and bloops this one up into shallow left field, going back a couple of steps and making the catch is the shortstop, Scott Kelly. Well, we've introduced you to some of the infield. Let's go ahead and finish up the defensive alignment for the Patriots, Kevin.
Let's do it. It is Pisano in left field, Krause in center field, Jimmy Paredes out there in right field, Ray Navarro, he's at third base. You got Kelly at shortstop, Massey at second base, Espinal over at first, and Bracamonte behind the plate. And pitching, of course, is Ryan Cushmall. And Ryan Cushmall looks pretty good right now.
So far, so good. Here's Tyler Ladendorf, one of the heroes from yesterday. Takes the first pitch from Cushmall in there for a strike. Ladendorf, 261 hitter, 10 home runs, and 35 driven in. One of 3 Rockers with 10 home runs right now. Lattimore, Ladendorf, and we mentioned Cardullo a moment ago. That one's in there for a strike, and they count 0-2.
And something that kind of will get lost in the shuffle from last night. But Ladendorf, a guy who needed a big hit, had a huge game-tying home run, and I think that's going to serve him well.
Swung on and fouls this one straight back out of play. Count holds 0-2. Yeah, we've been talking about how we've been waiting for him to get going because we know how dangerous of a hitter he is. I think we're finally starting to see him come out of the slump.
No, and the All-Star, it feels weird to call it that because, he's been so great. But, yeah, his numbers did fall down a little bit, and his production maybe a tiny bit as well, but he came up huge yesterday.
The 0-2 from Cushmall plunks Ladendorf right in between the shoulder blades. So a 0-2 pitch hits him, and he heads down to first base. Obviously, that's not a pitch with any intent because with 2 strikes, you're not trying to hit anybody. You're trying to get the out there.
It was 0-2, and that's a great batter. Rosa, you really want to try to take that and use that to the best you can.
Brings up via Sergi Rosa, the cleanup hitter, hitting .252, 7 home runs, 23 driven in. The damage came with 2 outs for the Patriots in the top of the first inning. High Point looking to return the favor here in the bottom of the frame. Just underway here, bottom of the first inning. Patriots lead 1-0, courtesy of a Will Kinger home run. Ladendorf dances off of first base. Here's the first pitch to Rosa. That misses away, and the count 1-0. Hector Gomez waits on deck. He slides up a couple of spots in the batting lineup today. Been swinging a good bat as well. Kushmal delivers the 1-0. Rosa thinks about it, but holds up, wisely so. 2 balls, no strikes now. A couple of guys who are regulars this week getting the day off. Matt Jones caught 5 in a row. He has the afternoon off, deservedly so. Quincy Lattimore has the day off as well. And a check over to Ladendorf. He's back in easily.
And as you said, the Lattimore day off, that one deserved as well after such a big hit. Take the rest of the day off and go into the All-Star break with a great memory and great momentum.
Yeah, start your break early. Here's the 2-0 to Rosa. Swings and hits a mile-high pop-up on the left side of the infield. The third baseman and the shortstop looking at it. Who's going to make the call? It's the shortstop, Scott Kelly, for the final out of the inning. I think that ball took about 5 minutes to come down. But the Rockers can't do anything with the 2-out hit by pitch, and we go to the top half of the second inning. It's the Somerset Patriots 1 and your High Point Rockers 0. This is High Point Rockers Baseball.
This is Kim Meyer, the host of Choose to Rise here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Choose to Rise, where we talk about living with positive mindsets, how to increase our confidence, building our faith, and living out our life on purpose. A new show comes out via podcast every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And if you want to catch the episode live instead, stop by Public House Media around 6:45 Central Standard Time, Monday, Wednesday, Friday as well. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you'll never miss an episode of Choose to Rise. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Evan, do you think that's right?
This is Daniel Poppy, host of How to Write Good here on Public House Media. I just want to thank you for listening to the following broadcast brought to you by Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope that you'll come check out my show, How to Write Good, the writing show that is not about writing. A new show of How to Write Good comes out every Wednesday, so don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of How to Write Good. Again, thanks for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Top of inning number 2, Rockers trail 1-0. It'll be 6, 7, and 8. That's Michael Kraus, Ray Navarro, and Scott Kelly, the 3 hitters coming up. The first one is Kraus, the center fielder. A little bit of roster movement for the High Point Rockers as we near the All-Star break. They acquired Asher Tolliver earlier in the year. That was for a player to be named later, among other things, as the first pitch to Kraus will miss ball 1. The player to be named later has been named and has been sent, and that is starting pitcher Seth Simmons.
And I think it'll be a move that benefits both teams.
Here's the 1-0, a weak ground ball hit just off the end of the bat towards Gomez. Makes a nice play and throws on to first anyways. You're already in the process. Go ahead and complete your motion there. Obviously a foul ball, count 1-1.
And obviously the Rockers know how good Tolliver's been for them, an all-star, and a great pitcher in Seth Simmons going up to Long Island now. So
here's the 1-1. That's hit weakly off the end of the bat, right back to Heron. Takes a couple steps towards first and flips it underhanded there to Cardullo for the first out of the inning. Yeah, Simmons' numbers here at his time in High Point. He had a good streak here. 5-4, 4.21 ERA, 13 starts, 48 strikeouts, 31 walks in 68 innings. So, of course, the Rockers wish him the best as he heads to Long Island. Well, hey, he's guaranteed a spot in the postseason. The Ducks,
Ducks
are heading to the playoffs.
They clinched yesterday with the Patriots loss.
First pitch to Navarro, swung on and hit down the right field line. Racing over is Marinkov and makes the catch as he steps into foul territory. So right down the line, 1 pitch, 1 out there, retires Navarro, and that brings up Scott Kelly, the shortstop. Kelly on the year, 233 hitter. No home runs. He's driven in 4.
The shortstop, number 2.
And just like we saw in the first inning, Tyler Herron picks up 2 quick outs. This is where he kind of got into trouble. We'll see if he can handle the bottom of the order with a little more success. Here's the first pitch to Kelly. That's going to be one just on the bottom portion of the strike zone. Just catching it, and the count 0-1. Herron, the righty, kicks and fires. This one's going to stay down and away, 1-1. Rockers wearing the usual home whites with the blue lettering and numbering. Again, going with the high socks here on Sunday afternoon. Red and blue stars on those. For All-Stars, 4th of July weekend, all the good things. Here's a high chopper to Ladendorf at short. The throw on to first in time for the final out of the inning. So Herron bounces back with a 1-2-3 inning. We go to the bottom of the second inning. It's the Patriots 1, your High Point Rockers 0. This is High Point Rockers Baseball.
This is Bryce Burge, host of Your Soccer Passport here on Public House Media. After this episode, come join us on a trip around the soccer world as we discuss club and country every Tuesday. Stamp your soccer passport by subscribing on Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you get your Public House Media podcasts. And thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Thank you to Cricket Wireless for sponsoring the podcast.
This is Dr. Mariah White, host of Your Life Matters, here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you are done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Your Life Matters, where we talk about dreaming big and dreaming bold to reach your wildest dreams in both your health and your happiness. A new show comes out every single Tuesday. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you'll never miss an episode of Your Life Matters. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Rachel Mullins, host of #NoFilterFriday here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my new show, #NoFilterFriday, where we talk about all of the sexual misconduct allegations swirling around Hollywood. A new show drops every Friday at 8:30 Pacific Standard Time. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you'll never miss an episode of #NoFilterFriday. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Bottom of the second inning, Kushmal back out there. Rockers have Gomez, Russell, and Marinkov, the 3 hitters. Kushmal, again, we mentioned in the pregame show, spent a couple years with the Winston-Salem Dash, was a very effective reliever, 2010, 2011. While he was there, picked up 7 saves and an ERA hovering at about right under 3. It's probably about 2.8 or so. Trying to do some math in my head. That's never a good thing. Here is Hector Gomez hitting .287, 3 home runs, 38 runs driven in. And the first pitch from Kushmal is driven into center field, not very deep. The ball is fading. It drops, and it's going to be picked up there by the right fielder. That is Paredes, who was coming over. But it drops in for a leadoff single for Hector Gomez.
And don't let Gomez's size fool you. He is a speedy guy on the base pass. He will be a great base runner here for the Rockers, and they're hoping they can take advantage of this. Hector Gomez, the guy who always gets a great reaction here at the ballpark when he comes up.
Michael Russell, the second baseman, comes up. .207 average, a home run, a pair of runs driven in. Again, another guy with a small sample size, hasn't been here very long, so hard to judge him on those numbers right now. That pitch downstairs, 1-0.
The Rockers had their World Cup party. It was watch and play, so guys were playing soccer, fans were. And guess who was out there shooting some penalty kicks? Michael Russell with goaltender Giovanni Alfonso.
I was about to say, Alfonso has to be out there somewhere.
They were going back and forth. It was pretty funny.
Kushmile set. Here's the pitch to Russell. That's going to stay away. We talked about the Rockers uniforms last half inning. Patriots going back to what we saw in Game 1, the road grays with the navy blue lettering and numbering, red trim around them. I sure liked those blue uniforms they had yesterday.
I did too. If you're superstitious, the gray helps bring you a win. So put those in the washer and bring them back out.
Here's the 2-0 to Russell. Hacks at this one, fouls it back to the screen, 2-1. Tyler Marinkov is the on-deck hitter. He came in to pinch hit yesterday for Matthew Jones. Breland Almadova is in the hole, had yesterday off. Again, they brought him back slowly, Almadova, after suffering that injury. They've been working him back in a little bit at a time. Russell swings and hits a fly ball to left center field. That's going to drop in for a base hit. So back-to-back singles to start the second inning. Rockers have something going thanks to the bottom of the lineup.
And like you said, they don't specify how it goes down in the score sheet or how it looks like a line drive in the paper, as you always say. But two can you call them bloopers?
The first one for sure. That one, I would call it a dying liner.
But good, two good hits.
Sure.
But my point being, it's not like Kushmile is having big hits coming off the bats on these guys. So as a pitcher, that can be kind of frustrating. But for the Rockers, this is exactly what you want to do. No matter how you do it, get two hits together, get some runners on, no outs, and try to get some runs. Even though we said you don't want to go to the bullpen, the one thing we forgot to talk about is, or we did, but I'm bringing the point up now, how good the starting pitching is. You maybe want to, even though the bullpen is great, still get a great starter out.
Marinkov, a .255 hitter, 3 home runs, 14 runs driven in, and swinging at the first pitch, fouls it back to the screen.
And on the other side of the coin, after Herring settled down in the first inning, he looks really in the zone and ready to go in that second, and he's a great pitcher. So if you can get a couple of runs here and break this and take advantage here with guys on first and second and Gomez and Russell, you could be in a good space, especially with how good the bullpen is.
Yeah, bounce back with a 1-2-3 inning in the top half of this frame, but the Rockers trying to get something going here. The pitch inside and down to Marinkov, and the count pulls even 1-1.
And it was Joe Van Meter who went deep last night in the game. 7 innings, still was a full 7, so that'll help out the bullpen as well. So I would imagine a lot of those guys are able to be used tonight.
Yeah, pretty fresh bullpen for the Rockers. Maybe just 1 or 2 guys unavailable. Here's the pitch from Kushmile inside, and the count is 2-1. In fact, I would venture to say the only guys they probably would not use would be the 2 that pitched yesterday, Baldonado and Tolliver.
Baldonado, we didn't get to talk about it enough because there's so much going on. He looked awesome yesterday. I've enjoyed his a few appearances we've seen. He's been great.
2 balls and a strike to Tyler Marinkov. Kushmile holds the set, now delivers, swung on and grounded foul just inside the third baseline or just outside of it, depending on your view.
I'm skipping ahead here, but
nope, not allowed. Just kidding.
And either way, it'll be exciting to see this guy in this spot, but it would be really interesting to see Marinkov get on and load the bases here up for the All-Star Almadova and see how he responds in that situation. A great hitter, as we've covered.
So the count 2-2. Gomez takes his lead off of second. Russell, a big lead off of first base. He's not being held on. I'd say he's a third of the way down already. Here's the pitch. That's going to be downstairs, and the count now full.
No outs, as you mentioned. Gomez on second. Russell over there on first, and basically on second is Michael Russell with that lead.
Yeah, Espinal not holding him on. I guess they're not expecting, or they are expecting Marinkov to pull it a little bit. Third baseman Navarro guarding the line. Here's the 3-2. Swung on. It's going to be chopped over to short. Could be 2. It's flipped over from Kelly to Massey onto first in time. It's a 6-4-3 double play. Moving over to third base is Hector Gomez. So now the Rockers have 2 outs and a runner at third base for Breland Almadova.
So here comes the All-Star, Breland Almadova. How does he respond in this situation? It's our first time seeing him in a few days.
Almodovar, 305 hitter, a home run, 10 runs batted in. He's missed a lot of time. This is just his 23rd game. But he's made an impact in those first 22. Cushmall delivers. First pitch to Almodovar, swinging, and just gets a piece of it. And the ball caroms off of the catcher, Bracamonte. Cushmall has stepped back off of the rubber and was wiping a little sweat off of his brow. Now he's ready to go. As you mentioned, a very, very warm day here at BB&T Point.
It's really hot.
Here's the 0-1 inside, and Almodovar, scoots out of the way.
As I mentioned, it's really hot, and you and I are here in the air conditioning, so everyone...
Nobody has to know.
Yeah, we're not big. Listen, they know. They're not in the office. We're not with the promotions team. We're not real popular with them. They're not big fans when they heard that information.
Here is the 1-1. Almodovar, big hack at that one. Comes up empty in the count 1-2. All-Star game set for July the 10th. For those of you not near a calendar, that is Wednesday. Up in Pennsylvania, the Rockers sending Almodovar, Cardullo, Ladendorf, Tolliver, Runyon, Van Meter, and I'm missing one.
Clark. Brian Clark, who's been outstanding as a pitcher in this bullpen.
Here's the 1-2 from Cushmall. Swung on, and that's grounded right back to him. Takes a couple steps off the mound and throws underhanded to Espinal for the final out of the inning. So the Rockers get a couple of base hits but can't do anything with them. And we go to the second. Patriots still lead 1-0. This is High Point Rockers baseball.
What's up, everybody? This is Christian Heimel, host of Press Row here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Press Row, where we talk about the biggest issues in sports with the analysts, experts, and reporters who cover them. No nonsense, hard-hitting interviews on the sports topics you're talking about. The new show comes out every single Thursday. And don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Press Row. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Hi, this is Peggy Rojas, host of Viviendo una Vida en Balance here at Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you can come back and check my show, Viviendo una Vida en Balance, where we talk about life hacks to live a life in balance. And the show's in Spanish. A new show comes out every Monday, so don't forget to subscribe on iTunes and share with your friends. Again, thank you for checking out the following broadcast in Public House Media.
This is Madeline, host of Crowned and Dangerous here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you are done with this episode, I hope you'll come back to check out my show, Crowned and Dangerous, where Jessica and I talk about our time in the pageant world. A new show comes out bi-weekly on Thursdays. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Crowned and Dangerous. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Top of the third, Rockers looking to hold the deficit at 1 before they get another chance at the dish, but it'll be 9-1-2. Bracamonte, Massey, and Paredes coming up. Gabriel Bracamonte, the catcher, hitting just 167. He's only played 8 games, a home run, 3 runs driven in. It's kind of funny, during the break we were talking about how the Rockers have High Sock Sunday, where they always wear a different type of high sock. Well, interesting routine or thing going on in the major leagues uniform-wise today, too, for one particular team. As that pitch down and away to Bracamonte, 1-0. The Cincinnati Reds doing sleeveless Sunday, where it literally looks like they're wearing tank top jerseys.
I'm going to start cutting the sleeves off my polos when I come in here.
Well, it's really interesting simply because, here's the pitch. That's going to stay away 2-0. Back in the 1950s and 1960s,
here we go, baby.
Famous or well-known first baseman for the Reds and the White Sox, Ted Kluszewski, Big Ted, sleeveless shirts. Here's the 2-0, and that's in there for a called strike. because he complained they restricted his massive biceps. And so he would always cut the sleeves off and was a fan favorite in Cincinnati. And so the Reds bringing back sleeveless Sundays for Big Ted.
Awesome.
Here's the 2-1 to Bracamonte. That's going to be just catching the bottom part of the plate, and it's 2-2.
I can always count on the on you for the historical context on why choices are being made in baseball.
I'm just jealous. Have you ever seen a picture of Big Ted? Look at his arms.
You know who could use that in the MLB as well? A lot of guys, but
swung on and grounded on, or hit on the ground rather to short. Nice play there by Ladendorf. And there's one away here in the top of the third. No, who could use that?
I was going to say Luke Voigt.
Oh, my goodness.
Big guy in the Yankees.
Really anybody. Aaron Judge, Luke Voigt, Stanton, Jerry Sanchez, CC. Oh, my goodness. Pick and choose there from the Yankees lineup. Bring up Craig Massey, the leadoff man. Popped up to Ladendorf at short his first time up. And we'll see how Herron does his second time through the Patriots lineup. First pitch to Massey stays up and in, 1-0. Herron delivers, swung on and ripped down the right field line. Looking over is Marinkov, and he will watch it go. A solo home run for Craig Massey, the second home run for the Somerset Patriots today. And they double their lead here, 2-0 in the top of the third.
What a shot by Craig Massey. That one bounced on the concourse and bounced out of the park and kept rolling down the street. That went a really far way. What a hit.
For Massey, just his third home run of the year. You don't really think of him as being a power hitter. He's played 57 games. But that one there doubles the Patriots lead 2-0, and now Herron deals to Paredes, who swings and drives this one deep into right field. Back goes Marinkov again, and it's off the scoreboard. What a shot for Jimmy Paredes, and just like that, it's 3-0 Patriots.
You look at Paredes, we were watching him in batting practice. You know that's a guy that could really do some damage, and we saw it there. Off the scoreboard, it's a big target. What a shot. Paredes showing off the power.
Get this. This is Paredes' fourth home run in 13 games. That's one home run a series, basically. Incredible power numbers for one of the newest Somerset Patriots. Now here's Will Kenger, who homered back in the first inning, takes the first pitch upstairs from Herron, and the count 1-0. If you're Herron, you got to really limit the damage here. Worst thing you could do is go into the All-Star break with a really sour taste in your mouth about the last start, as that pitch is fouled off in the count 1-1.
Yeah, if you're Herron, you just want to protect yourself here, get a couple of outs, get back into the dugout, and see if you can get something going.
For Herron, those are home runs 5, 6, and 7 allowed on the years. That one's in there for a strike.
So with that being said, not a guy who was giving up a lot of home runs and giving up 3 here in one game.
No, he ties Johnson for second with 7 home runs allowed. The leader is actually Seth Simmons, who we mentioned sent to the Ducks earlier today. That pitch inside, and the count 2-1. They're checking on the count. Is Herron now. It's 2-2. Breaking ball swung on and ripped. A scorching one-hopper to Russell at second base. Fires on to first in time. Score it 4-3, although he was playing in super shallow right field at the time. And that's out number 2.
He is so sharp on defense. Makes the play, turns around, makes a great throw, makes it look easy. All these Atlantic League defenders do. These are professional Major League Baseball level plays. Those would be eased anywhere else.
Curveball to Edwin Espinal in there for a called strike. Count 0-1. Looking ahead to the bottom half of the third inning, Rockers have 9, 1, and 2. Nigro, Cardullo, and Schroeder. Another curveball. This one's going to skip in, and the count's even at 1.
And what I was trying to say, I didn't
check that. It's 2-0.
I didn't explain what I was trying to say well with the Russell. I said plays that they make
pitch downstairs.
These guys are so good that sometimes they get errors on plays that would be spectacular in for other divisions and other minor league teams, or even some major league players. The way these guys can play.
Espinal swings and hits a line drive deep into left field, and that's going to hit off of a seat and gone. The third solo home run of the inning, the fourth home run given up by Heron here. He is getting absolutely clobbered. It's 4-0. They're hitting him hard today.
They are, and is that 3 in a row?
No, there was the ground out to Kinder.
Espinal there. So
third of the inning, though.
And 3 out of the last 4 hitters. There's some standing going on, some stirring going on in the bullpen.
Dario Pisano grounded out to second his first time up. And the pitch from Heron swung on. That's hit in the air to center field. Luckily not as deep as some others we've seen this inning. That's caught there by Schroeder. The inning is finally over, but not before 3 solo home runs add to the Patriots' lead. And Somerset leads 4-0. You're listening to High Point Rockers Baseball.
This is Madeline, host of Crowned and Dangerous here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you are done with this episode, I hope you'll come back to check out my show, Crowned and Dangerous, where Jessica and I talk about our time in the pageant world. A new show comes out bi-weekly on Thursdays. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Crowned and Dangerous. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Liz Colburn, host of The Morning Uplift here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you are done with this episode, I hope you'll come back and check out my show, The Morning Uplift, where we talk about finding your beauty in the journey. A new show comes out twice a month on the first and third Mondays. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of The Morning Uplift. Thank you again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Jessica Hammer, co-host of Crowned and Dangerous here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you are done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Crowned and Dangerous, where Maddie and I talk about all things pageant related, especially our experiences in the Miss America organization. A new show comes out bi-weekly, every other Thursday. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Crowned and Dangerous. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Bottom of the fourth inning, things not pretty on the scoreboard, but there's still plenty of baseball to be played here, so no reason to leave yet. Rockers have some big hitters, some all-star hitters, and we'll be seeing them here in this inning. It'll be Nigro, all-star Cardulo, and Miles Schroeder coming up against Cushmall. Nigro hitting 129, a home run, 4 driven in. And the first pitch from Cushmall is grounded right there at the plate, foul.
And what can happen, or what has happened, is when you give up 4 solo home runs, even they're only 4, it feels like a lot more. And the way they've been being hit, they've been absolutely blasted.
Nigro swings, hits a weak ground ball over to third base. Navarro throws to first in time, 1 away. Well, take a look around the Atlantic League. Got some score updates for you, Kevin. Oh, you want me to do it? Or you want to?
I can get it for you. Hold on.
We'll get him after the end of this at bat. Steven Cardulo comes up, and he's grounded to second, rather, his first time up. Hitting .259, 10 home runs, 40 driven in. And Cushmall looks in, gets the sign from Bracamonte, kicks and deals. First pitch swung on and fouled back to the screen.
All right, here we go. We got the Sugarland Skeeters who lead 2-0 that game in the bottom of the fourth. New Britain is at home. A little small ball, sacrifice fly, and a fielding error helping some guys score there.
And remember, the Skeeters have just a 1-game lead over the York Revolution. So a win for them clinches their division. That pitch swung on and hit deep in the air to center field. Racing back is Kraus, and he'll flag it down at the track. So a loud out there for Cardulo. Really the first ball that's been hit hard by the Rockers today.
That was a good-looking hit, and you hold your breath because that one could travel and maybe go a little bit further. And then if we look back at the scores, the Barnstormers lead 7-1 in the top of the 5th. So things looking good for the Sugar Land Skeeters.
And they're playing the Revolution, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's the pitch to Schroeder. That's going to stay away. Yeah, if I understand correctly, Sugar Land wins the division with a win or a York loss. So either way, working in their favor right now. Even with the Revolution playing a doubleheader today, that pitch is away, and the count 2-0.
Yeah, I think one Sugar Land Skeeter win would push the Skeeters across. And what's the big deal, you might ask? Well, that would be the Freedom Division champion for the first half.
Yeah, they come down to the wire in that division. Here's the pitch to Schroeder. Checks his swing, called a strike anyways. Count is now 2-2.
And as we talked, the team with the best record that does not have a half championship win will be the wild card, regardless of division. They are the wild card, and they'll go play the team without a dance partner.
And here's the pitch. That's away for ball 3. Provided there's a wild card scenario, obviously.
If thank you.
If somebody wins
if
both
somebody
halves
wins both. So if
division.
you're a Rockers fan, you're cheering for the Rockers to win the second half championship, and if that doesn't happen, you're hoping for somebody to repeat and the Rockers to keep winning.
Here's the pitch to Schroeder. That's going to just miss down and in ball 4. So a 2-out walk to Schroeder will bring up Tyler Ladendorf. He was hit by a pitch, 2-strike hit by pitch his last time up.
Number 9, Tyler Ladendorf.
Something about the color on these high socks that the Rockers are wearing. I keep thinking they just have like star tattoos on their calves.
You got Ladendorf here with 2 outs, a guy on base. This could be a big moment.
Kushmal looks in and delivers first pitch to Ladendorf. Swung on and hits the top of the screen behind the plate. Count is 0-1.
This is a great chance to jump in and try to hit or run it.
Yeah, so the Atlantic League All-Star Game will be on July 10th at 7 o'clock. 5:45 is the home run derby. Here's the pitch to Ladendorf. Big swing and a miss there. And the count is 0-2. I'll tell you what, there's a couple of Rockers that would be good participants in that home run derby. Kushmal comes set, ready to deliver the 0-2. And that's going to miss away ball 3. I don't believe we have participants listed yet or named yet, but a couple of Rockers would definitely fit in for sure.
And I would imagine that if they're up there, they could be eligible to be in it. So I would imagine at least one Rocker will be in it. And if you want to watch or listen to that game, you will be able to.
Here's the 1-2 to Ladendorf. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So another fairly quick inning for Ryan Kushmal. We head to the 4th. It's 4-0 Somerset Patriots lead your High Point Rockers. This is High Point Rockers baseball.
Rockers fans, each game, one lucky fan will be picked for our Hey guys,
this is Keith
and Katie. Coffee with Keith and Katie on Public House Media.
Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
When you're done listening to this show, I hope you'll come check out our show, Coffee with Keith and Katie. A new episode comes out every Sunday morning at 9 o'clock.
Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Presented by Old Dominion and Salvation Army. Bring in 3 non-perishable items to receive a complimentary ticket. to see your High Point
This is
Rockers
John Lauder,
take on
host
the
of the Cheap
Chicago
Seats here on
Bears.
Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following
Also,
broadcast
High Point
on
Rockers
Public
would
House
like to give
Media.
a
Once
special
you're done with this
thank you
episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, The Cheap Seats, where we talk about sports from the fans' perspective. A new show comes out every Monday. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of The Cheap Seats. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Kim Meyer, the host of Choose to Rise here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Choose to Rise, where we talk about living with positive mindsets, how to increase our confidence, building our faith, and living out our life on purpose. The new show comes out via podcast every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And if you want to catch the episode live instead, stop by Public House Media around 6:45 Central Standard.
Top of the fourth inning. And Tyler Heron looking for the bounce back inning here. The first pitch to Michael Kraus, swing and a miss, strike one. It's Kraus, Navarro, and Kelly. Kraus bounced out back to Heron in the second.
And this could be a big inning here for Heron.
Curveball is going to drop in there. The count 0-2. Good pitch.
As if he can settle down here and get some strikeouts and get some outs in general, he might be able to hold in for a 5 or 6 inning start.
I think they'd be happy with 5 at this point. Timeout taken there. Kraus 239, 6 home runs, and 15 driven in. Heron kicks and fires. Fastball. Strike 3, a delayed call, but they're going to ring up Michael Kraus for out number 1.
And that's a huge call there for Heron. He needed that one. Picks up that third strike.
First strikeout of the game from Heron. Seems weird the first strikeout is picked up here in the fourth inning after we saw Joe Van Meter's record-setting performance of 11 yesterday. I think he had, like 6 through the first 3 innings or something like that?
6 or 7, and
first pitch here to Navarro is just upstairs, ball 1.
And this is Heron, who had a 7-strikeout outing earlier this year, so it's a little odd for him, too, to be only picking up his first strikeout in the fourth inning.
Here's the 1-0. That's going to miss down and in. 2 balls, no strikes. So I talked a little bit in the pregame show about the technicality of the schedule. Here's the 2-0 pitch, swung on and fouled back, 2-1. So in the Atlantic League, teams play 140 game schedule, which means that 70 is at the halfway point. So ideally, teams would be hitting the All-Star break here at Game 70. The Rockers actually played their 70th yesterday. So they finished the first half with a record of 41-29. This pitch is grounded weakly towards the first base side foul, and the count 2-2. So technically, this is the first game of the second half. Now, both halves obviously would add up together for the wild card, but for the Rockers, they're looking to go ahead and start the second half on a good note here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out to Navarro, and here's the pitch from Heron. Curveball hit weakly on the ground towards second. Russell Fields and fires on to first in time for out number 2.
More good-looking defense here from the Rockers, and if you're High Point, you can't worry about the last inning when there was 3 home runs hit. You got to just keep pushing along here and try to get a couple outs in a row and then get back into your dugout and get a little offense going. 4 feels like a lot, but this is a very talented High Point Rocker offense that can get back into this game quickly because they have the bats to get that kind of production.
First pitch is strike 1 to Scott Kelly, the shortstop. The bottom 4 in the lineup, 0 for 8 for the Patriots so far. Top of the lineup, though, is where the damage has been done, 5 for 10 with 4 home runs. That one misses, and the count 1-1. So if you're going to struggle through the top of the lineup, it's important to at least take care of the bottom half, which is what Heron's been able to do. Here's a ground ball right behind second, scooped up there on the short hop by Ladendorf, off-balance throw to first. In time, they're going to say Cardullo kept his foot on the bag, and a great play on both ends for that one. So that's the final out of the inning, and it's a bounce-back 1-2-3 frame for Tyler Heron. We come to the bottom of the fourth next. Your Rockers trail 4-0.
Host of Your Soccer Passport here on Public House Media. After this episode, come join us on a trip around the soccer world as we discuss club and country every Tuesday. Stamp your soccer passport by subscribing on Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you get your Public House Media podcasts. And thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
How are you feeling, Luke? Are you ready? All right, guys, on your mark.
This is Dr. Mariah White, host of Your Life Matters, here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you are done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Your Life Matters, where we talk about dreaming big and dreaming bold to reach your wildest dreams in both your health and your happiness. A new show comes out every single Tuesday. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you'll never miss an episode of Your Life Matters. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Rachel Mullins, host of #NoFilterFriday here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my new show, #NoFilterFriday, where we talk about all of the sexual misconduct allegations swirling around Hollywood. A new show drops every Friday at 8:30 Pacific Standard Time. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you'll never miss an episode of #NoFilterFriday. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
What's up, everybody? This is Christian Heimel, host of Press Row here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Press Row, where we talk about the biggest issues in sports with the analysts, experts, and reporters who cover them. No nonsense, hard-hitting interviews on the sports topics you're talking about. The new show comes out every single Thursday. And don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Press Row. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Bottom of the fourth inning, and Cushmall Deal's first pitch swung on and popped up in the infield. Calling for it is Navarro. Kelly calls him off and makes the catch, so that retires Sergi Rosa on the first pitch of the fourth inning. So it'll bring up Hector Gomez and then Michael Russell to follow him.
If you remember last time, Sergi Rosa up, he hit a ball in a very similar way. The ball stayed up there for a long time, and that was out number one. Cushmall just keeps moving along here. Another one pitch out.
Hector Gomez, a bloop single his first time up, takes strike one. Rockers have run into a string of really good starting pitchers in this 7-game homestand. Cushmall rocks and deals. Swung on at a scorching one-hopper to Kelly at short. The throw to first is in time. Score at 6-3, and that's out number two. Yeah, it goes back to, you have Brett Oberholzer. There was Dormany yesterday. Alabadejo and Davies with the Barnstormers. Just really good starting pitchers. And all things considered, the Rockers have done a decent job against them. Maybe not breaking out in terms of runs, but they're getting the runs when they need them. And here's Michael Russell swinging and fouling this one off in the count 0-1. In the case of the Barnstormers, being able to get to the bullpen once that opportunity presented itself as well. So the count is 0-1. Swung on and roped foul, and the count 0-2. Kevin, I saw you had the schedule up there just a moment ago. So with the Rockers hitting the All-Star break here starting tomorrow, their next home games are when?
They are on the 19th, the 20th, the 21st. You're never going to believe who's in town. It's the Somerset Patriots who come right back on the 19th and the 20th.
Here's the pitch. That's going to stay upstairs, and the count is 1-2.
That's a quick little 3-game homestand series, and then they're off for 3 days as they will turn around and travel up to Somerset, and then they have the Sugarland Skeeters at home in a 4-game series, and then Maryland in 3, so a 7-game homestand.
Swung on and driven deep into left field, racing back towards the track, and making the catch is the left fielder Pizarro for the final out of the inning. So that's a quick 1-2-3 there. Rockers go down in the 4th inning. So we head to the top half of the 5th. Patriots lead 4-0. This is High Point Rockers baseball.
Hi, this is Peggy Rojas, host of Viviendo una Vida en Balance here at Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you can come back and check my show, Viviendo una Vida en Balance, where we talk about life hacks to live a life in balance. And the show's in Spanish. A new show comes out every Monday, so don't forget to subscribe on iTunes and share with your friends. Again, thank you for checking out the following broadcast in Public House Media.
This is Madeline, host of Crowned and Dangerous here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you are done with this episode, I hope you'll come back to check out my show, Crowned and Dangerous, where Jessica and I talk about our time in the pageant world. A new show comes out bi-weekly on Thursdays. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Crowned and Dangerous. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Liz Colburn, host of The Morning Uplift here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you are done with this episode, I hope you'll come back and check out my show, The Morning Uplift, where we talk about finding your beauty in the journey. A new show comes out twice a month on the 1st and 3rd Mondays. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of The Morning Uplift. Thank you again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Leading off for Somerset.
Top of the 5th inning, and it will be 9-1-2 for the Patriots. Bracamonte, Massey, and Paredes. Top 4 hitters in the lineup all have home runs today. But first, Bracamonte, the catcher, takes strike 1. From Venezuela, Santa Teresa del Toy.
Nice.
Tyler Herron back out here for the 5th inning. No action in the bullpen despite the struggles he's had with the top of the lineup. This one's lofted foul. Rosa and Nigro giving it a look. Rosa at the screen makes the catch.
That's a great heads-up play by Steven Cardulo to go over there and make that play at the net. A big out for Herron. He has really had a tough time with this Patriots lineup today. They've been successful with 4 solo home runs being their offense, and to get a quick out like that, I'll take it.
I know I've called Cardulo Rosa multiple times, and I'm just used to seeing him at first base. Here is Massey, homered his last time up. So listen to Kevin. It is Cardulo at first base. Don't listen to me.
Well, he's in so many different places, it's easy to get confused.
First pitch in there for a called strike, and the count 0-1. I'm really interested to see, Kevin, the way that Herron pitches these front 4 guys. You know, he's struggled with them. All 4 of them have hit home runs. Pitch sequence here will be very interesting. Curveball is in the dirt there, and the count 1-1. I mean, you definitely think for Paredes, who's on deck, as this pitch swung on and ripped towards Cardulo at first base. He's calling to take it himself. Foot race to the bag. Cardulo wins, and that's out number 2. Showing some speed there, picking up that ground ball, and had to cover a lot of distance to get to the base.
No, that was impressive stuff over there by Vio Sergi Cardulo, who came in and made that play.
See what you did there.
Okay, now I'm being mean. I'm sorry.
I tell you what, for Paredes here, who hit the ball off of the big board last inning, I bet you don't see anything inside. They're not gonna make that mistake.
I might
again.
walk them.
This pitch swung on and hit a easier play there for Cardulo. He'll flip this one to Herron, a little behind him, but he makes the catch for the final out of the inning. So score at 3-1, and it's a pretty harmless 1-2-3 inning for Tyler Herron. In fact, that's 2 straight 1-2-3 innings for the Rockers starter. We go to the bottom of the 5th. We'll see if High Point can get something going offensively. It'll be 7-8-9 when we come back.
This is Jenna Burt,
host of the Confessions of a Military Spouse podcast here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Confessions of a Military Spouse, where we dig deep and talk about the unspoken hard truths of what it's really like to be a military spouse. A new show comes out bi-weekly. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Confessions of a Military Spouse. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
How's it going, everybody?
Hey guys,
This is Keith.
and Katie from Coffee with Keith and Katie on Public House Media.
Thanks for listening to the following broadcasts on Public House Media.
When you're done listening to this show, I hope you'll come check out our show, Coffee with Keith and Katie. A new episode comes out every Sunday morning at 9 o'clock.
Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Julianne Condia, host of Rewritten here on Public House Media. Thank you so much for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you are done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Rewritten, where we will talk about you having limitless potential and can rewrite your story at any time. No matter your background, your past, or situation, you can have the type of life you crave. A new show comes out every single Monday. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Rewritten. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Tyler Marincove steps in, bottom half of the fifth inning. Marincove, Almadova, and Nigro, your three hitters here. Rockers trying to chip in to a 4-0 deficit. Ryan Cushmall still on the mound, and a first pitch swing into shallow left center field. Three Patriots going for it. It's going to drop in between all three of them. Marincove slips going back to first base, or coming around first base, and he'll dive back head first in time. And he is safe. So interesting on both sides. Looked like the ball fell into no man's land between three Patriots, and Marincove had an adventure going to first.
This is your opportunity to get something going here if you are the High Point Rockers. You have Almadova and Nigro. Almadova, an eighth-hole hitter who is not your typical eight-hole hitter. He is a very productive guy. 10 RBIs, and this whole lineup is atypical because every guy has serious power and can be clutch hitters.
Here's the pitch from Cushmall. That's down and away. Snap throw to first. Tag down late. Back in safely is Marincove. A good thought there by Bracamonte to try to see if he can catch Marincove sleeping. Sunday afternoons are good for sleeping, but not here on the base paths. I'd say really I agree with your statement, except the only two players who I don't think have that much home run power would be Alfonso and Almadova. Here's the pitch, and Almadova fouls this one off.
But I think both have home runs on the year.
Oh, I'm sure they do. And just in general, as far as, you would not expect them to.
Yeah, my point being power, meaning they all have the capability of being, it can go over on you. Some guys more threats to do it every single time than others, but every guy has big power, and every guy for sure can hit in clutch situations. I think they've all been called to do that this year.
Almadova has to protect here with the count 0-2. And here's the pitch from Cushmall. Swings and fouls it off. He'll have to do it again. Big thing for the Rockers to keep in mind here with a 4-run deficit. You're not trying to get it all right back right away. Just chip into the lead a little bit. Maybe get out of this inning 4-1, 4-2, something like that. Just make it a little bit more manageable as the game goes on. Cushmall looks in, takes a long look in. Now comes set. Couple wiggles of the glove, now delivers the 0-2. Swung on, and that's going to be lined foul. Out of play down the right field side. Sunglasses out aplenty, both in the seats and on the field. It is bright out here today.
It is bright. It's a hot one today. Got a runner on first in Marincove. Almodovar just trying to stay alive in this at-bat and get on.
Kushmal set. Here's the 0-2 again. That's going to be up and in to Almodovar. And the count now 1-2. Both bullpens still quiet. Herron has settled down after allowing those 4 solo home runs. And, you know, if you want to look on the bright side, at least they were all solo home runs. You know, if you're going to give up home runs, do it if nobody's on base. That one misses away 2-2.
Yeah, look at the glass half full, as you said. Yeah, and I said, as a pitcher, it's because it's such a visual. You see those 4 balls go over the wall, and you think, you know, we could be in big trouble here. But then you turn and look, it's only 4. So it makes you feel maybe a little bit worse. But Herron has bounced back beautifully with 1, 2, 3 innings.
Check over on Marinkov at first base. He dives in safely. How's this for weird? After the strikeout-heavy performance we saw yesterday, there have been 2 total in this game, 1 by each side.
They want to balance it out for you. I think we saw, how many did we see for the Patriots yesterday?
We saw about 20 from the 2 starters combined. That doesn't even get into the bullpens. That one's fouled back. Count still 2-2. We'll check the box score from yesterday. Rockers had 12.
Yeah, Dormany had 9.
Dormany had 9 as a team. They had 10, so 22 strikeouts total yesterday.
It was pretty awesome. Then you saw a handful of home runs as well yesterday, so it was pretty awesome.
Seen a handful of home runs today as well. All of them coming off of the bats of Somerset. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Marinkov takes off for second. That pitch is going to be lined over to short. Kelly diving stop. Throw to first is in time by a step. But going down to second base is Marinkov. He took off with the first motion by Kushmal. And a good play there by Kelly to get the out at first base.
The catcher, number 2, Frank Nigro.
Brings up Frank Nigro. Grounded out to third his first time up. Another guy with a small sample size waiting to get his bat going since his arrival to High Point.
A great defender, a great catcher. Great in the clubhouse. Seems to be a big favorite.
Here's the pitch. He's got a nice opportunity here with a runner on second base. First pitch inside, 1-0.
And you got a guy who's 21 years old, finished playing college ball at the at the NCAA level, and then is picked up by the Rockers, put in a professional lineup, and is fit in right away. That's a tough task.
Here's the 1-0 to Nigro. Swings and hits this one down the left field side into the Patriots bullpen.
Because he wasn't even hitting with a wooden bat a couple months ago, and now he is now. So I've been really impressed with how this kid has come in here and really gotten into the swing of things early.
That's a huge difference, swinging a wooden bat to swinging the old lumber. 1 ball, 1 strike. Marinkov, the runner at second. Nobody's holding him on, although Massey shades it a little bit. That pitch swung on and missed 1-2. Playing a little cat and mouse with Kushmal. Each one trying to rattle the other a little bit. Rockers trying to score their first run of the day. As Marinkov takes his lead off as second. Here's the 1-2 to Nigro. First they're going to throw over to second. Throw is in time, but the tag is not, so Marinkov is in safely. If that throw is on the shortstop side of the bag, I think they get him.
I agree with you.
One ball, 2 strikes again to Nigro. Kushmal set. Marinkov dances off a second again. Here's the 1-2 swung on. It's going to be hit a 2-hopper to third. And the throw is in time. Navarro to Espinal. Score that one 5-3. Marinkov has to stay put at second. and the Rockers go back around to the top of the lineup.
Espinal had to go get that one, and he did right there. 2 outs now for Steven Cardullo, who is a great hitter. So this is not the end here of the threat of scoring runs for the Rockers, as they have a little bit of a chance here with a powerful hitter and a very speedy guy on.
Rockers hit back-to-back home runs in the 9th to win it yesterday with 2 outs, so certainly no stranger to 2-out magic. Cardullo 0 for 2 today, although made good contact his last time. First pitch swinging and fouls this one up over our heads, and the count is 0-1. Rockers and Patriots finishing up the first half of the 2019 season here today. I'm excited for it being All-Star Week, man. I mean, we're not going to go up there to Pennsylvania, but it's going to be a good game to watch, and good to see all the best of the best come out there. Here's the pitch. Cardullo swings and hits this one. I'll tell you, if Rosa hit one a mile high, that one's 3 miles high. And he loses it in the sun to the left fielder Pisano. It's going to drop. And Cardullo to second. That'll be one of the easiest doubles he'll ever get.
And will that be scored at double?
I think that's a double. I don't think it hit the glove of Pisano. He lost it up there in the sun. And that's something you got to contend with if you're out there on the field, is just when the ball is hit that high in the sky that bright.
And I believe this is the Patriots' first time playing. I would imagine it's their first time playing on turf this season, and probably for some of these guys, maybe ever or in a long time. You don't see that many turf baseball fields, do you, Kendrick?
No, you really don't.
And the sun comes off of the turf, and it makes it really bright. So you're looking up into a bright sky, and
that
look out.
Swung on by Schroeder down the left field line. Foul. Right field line, rather. Schroeder gave that one a ride.
And all that being said, the sun comes, so you look up, sun's coming down at you bright. It's also bouncing off the turf and coming back, reflecting back up into your eyes again. So that makes those what look like really quote-unquote easy plays very difficult.
The 0-1 to the left-handed hitting Schroeder from Cushmall. That's going to stay away 1-1. Well, the Rockers have cracked the code here. They've gotten onto the scoreboard. They trail 4-1.
And you'd love to get more here if you are the Rockers. If that Schroeder one that looked like a home run, that left, it would have been a 2-run shot, 4-3. It's 4-1 right now.
Cardullo takes his lead off a second, and the 1-1 to Schroeder stays away 2-1. Rockers are 4-2 on the homestand so far. They've already won the homestand. I don't know, maybe it's just me. 5-2 sounds so much better than 4-3. Here's the 2-1 swing and a miss, 2-2. They've got their work cut out for them today, though. They trail by 3. And again, this is a good Somerset Patriots staff that leads the Atlantic League in earned run average. Cushmall comes set, ready to deliver the 2-2 to Schroeder. Kicks and fires. They're going to ring him up. Strike 3 on the inner part of the plate. Schroeder sets his bat down. I don't think he liked the call, but it is the final out of the inning. But the Rockers get on the board. We go to the top half of the 6th. It's 4-1. You're listening to High Point Rockers Baseball.
The host of Choose to Rise here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Choose to Rise, where we talk about living with positive mindsets, how to increase our confidence, building our faith, and living out our life on purpose. A new show comes out via podcast every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And if you want to catch the episode live instead, stop by Public House Media around 6:45 Central Standard Time, Monday, Wednesday, Friday as well. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you'll never miss an episode of Choose to Rise. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Hi, this is Emily.
This is Lindsay.
And this is Elizabeth,
co-hosts of Beauties and Headcanons here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Once you are done with this episode, we hope you'll come check out our show, Beauties and Headcanons, where we talk nerdy to you about fandoms, fan fiction, and all pop culture for nerds that you can think of. A new show comes out every Friday.
Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Beauties and Headcanons. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Julianne Condia, host of Rewritten here on Public House Media. Thank you so much for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you are done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Rewritten, where we will talk about you having limitless potential and can rewrite your story at any time. No matter your background, your past, or current situation, you can have the type of life you crave. A new show comes out every single Monday. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Rewritten. Thanks again for checking out the following.
Top of the 6th inning, and Heron deals first pitch to Kinger in there for a strike. Kinger hit a solo home run in the first inning to start off the scoring. Grounded out to second his last time up. So it'll be Kinger, Espinal, and Pisano. Kinger swings, hits a blooper into shallow right field. I think it's going to find some turf. It does. Little bloop single in between Russell and Marincove for a leadoff single. It's the 6th hit for the Patriots. Line score 4-6-0 for Somerset, 1-4-0 for High Point. Edwin Espinal, 2 for 2, a double and a home run today. And here's the pitch, curveball in there for a called strike. He's halfway to the cycle. He's got the easiest and the hardest one left. Heron glances over his shoulder at Kinger. Now deals, Kinger takes off. That pitch is in there. Throw down to second. Not in time.
As the glove came off of Russell, and Frank has a really good throw from the back behind the plate to second base, and got a few guys out already this year and had to throw that one from his knees. That's a really tough throw.
Count 1-1. Yeah, going from his knees, especially on a off-speed pitch like that.
It shows you how strong his arm is that he was even able to make it that close.
So a ball and a strike to Espinal. Runner on second now in the form of Kinger. Kinger, that's his 7th steal. And here's the pitch to Espinal. There's a called strike, outer part of the plate. And the count is 1-2. Rockers down 4-1. We're in the 6th. And here's the pitch. He pokes this one. It hits a piece of the mound and bounces up, but Russell picks it up from his second base position, throws on to Cardulo at first for the out. But moving on to third base in the process is Kinger. So one away runner on third now.
Left fielder, number 37, Dario Pisano.
Dario Pisano comes up. He is 0 for 2. Bottom 5 in the lineup, a combined 0 for 10 against Heron their first 2 times through the order. With the front going 1 for 4 here, that's probably the best he's navigated that portion of the lineup as the curveball stays up and the count 1-0. Kinger, the runner on third. The Rockers bringing the infield in, at least even with the bases. They really would like to cut down him at the plate and not allow another run if they can avoid it. The pitch fouled up out of play, and the count 1-1. You know, maybe earlier on in the game you could surrender that run and just try to focus on getting the out at first base, but we're in the middle stages of the game here, and I don't think you can afford to give up that other one.
Yeah, we're here in the Top of the 6th inning, and it's 1-1, 1 out, and Heron is going to try to keep that run there on third.
Pitch swung on and fouled back to the screen, just catching the top lip of it and falling back into play. And the count 1-2.
Keep that runner on third, I should say.
Left-handed hitter is Pisano. Center fielder Michael Kraus is on deck. And here's the pitch from Heron. Curveball. Nice block there by Nigro, keeping Kinger from coming in to score. Pisano has a bit of an open stance. He keeps his front foot further back in the box. A lot of hitters say it helps open up their vision a little bit, especially on the inside part of the plate. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be up and in, counts full. Four solo home runs for the Patriots, all from the first 4 hitters in the lineup. That accounts for their 4 runs. Rockers and RBI bloop double by Cardulo. Is lost in the sun by Pisano as he swings and pops this one up. Nigro gives it a look. It gets out of play. And the count stays at 3-2.
This game is kind of slowing down a little bit, and we were talking about this in one of the breaks. In the Atlantic League, sometimes games that are going really fast, because the other games go so fast in the Atlantic League, it feels like, oh man, this is a slow one.
Yeah.
But this is a fast game. If you were watching any other baseball game, you'd be talking about how quick the game is going. And if you're
curveball swung on and hit high in the air to center. We'll see if it's enough to score Kinger. It is caught by Schroeder, and a good throw to the plate holds Kinger there. Miles Schroeder might have just saved a run here if Heron could get the next hitter out.
That was so impressive, and Schroeder knew this. Not only does this throw need to make it close, but it needs to look impressive. And you're not necessarily trying to time it right away. You got to. That's tough, because not only does it have to be a good throw, you got to do it quickly, and it has to have a little flash to it, because you want to keep the guy on third and kind of scare Kinger into staying put.
Michael Kraus, the center fielder, he's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Swings at the first pitch, hits this one high in the air to right field, but camping under it, now coming in is Marin Cove, and he will make the catch for the final out of the inning. So Kinger stranded at third, crisis averted for Heron, and we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. High Point still trails 4-1.
To write good here on Public House Media. I just want to thank you for listening to the following broadcast brought to you by Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope that you'll come check out my show, How to Write Good, the writing show that is not about writing. A new show of How to Write Good comes out every Wednesday, so don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of How to Write Good. Again, thanks for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
On your mark.
This is Bryce Burge, host of Your Soccer Passport here on Public House Media. After this episode, come join us on a trip around the soccer world as we discuss club and country every Tuesday. Stamp your soccer passport by subscribing on Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you get your Public House Media podcasts. And thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
You're headed in the wrong direction there.
This is Dr. Mariah White, host of Your Life Matters, here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you are done with this episode, my show, Your Life Matters, where we talk about dreams big and bold to reach your wildest dreams in both your health and your happiness. A new show comes out every single Tuesday. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you'll never miss an episode of Your Life Matters. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Rachel Mullins, host of Hashtag No Filter Friday, here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my new show, Hashtag No Filter Friday, where we talk about all of the sexual misconduct allegations swirling around Hollywood. A new show drops every Friday at 8:30 Pacific Standard Time. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you'll never miss an episode of Hashtag No Filter Friday. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Bottom of the 6th inning, High Point Rockers looking to build off of what they started last inning, and that's scoring runs. It'll be Ladendorf, Rosa, and Gomez, your 3 scheduled, as Ladendorf swings, fouls the first pitch up out of play, and the count 0-1. Kendrick Fruits, Kevin McMahon with you here at BB&T Point in High Point. Rockers and Patriots wrapping up what's been a very, very eventful and exciting first half of the Atlantic League season.
And what's been a great homestand, I know I said it earlier as we got another pitch coming in here.
The 0-1 to Ladendorf fouled out of play.
But this place, the BB&T Point, had to really come prepared and come ready to work, all the staff each and every day when there was a huge homestand. July 1st, every game was packed, but those 3rd and 4th games especially were jumping, and this place was ready and the staff was great. So just big shout out to them.
0-2 to Ladendorf. Swung on and fouled out of play again. Count holds at 0-2.
As you shift your focus, as we shift our focus back here to the ball game, or as I shift my focus back, it's only 3 runs here between these two teams. So plenty of time for your Rockers to make a little run.
Here's the 0-2 to Ladendorf, and just getting a piece of it and fouling it back is 0-2. He's doing a great job staying alive with 2 strikes.
And they will be really careful with him as of yesterday, his solo shot. So he might get something really good to hit, but if he does, it'll be by accident. It will not be because they're going to try to go necessarily right towards him with something great.
He's 0 for 1 today with a strikeout. Here's the 0-2 from Cushmall. Swung on and fouled out of play yet again. So the count is 0-2, and yet he's seen 6 or 7 pitches this at-bat.
And you can tell with the way he's hitting these that he is right there. He's just he's either a little bit too early, a little bit too late on some of these. He is getting real close to being able to put one in.
Nobody up in the Rockers bullpen. Looks like Heron will come back out. He's settled down since the beginning. That pitch way up and in, and Ladendorf has to dive out of the way of that one. He was hit his first time up today and just about got plunked again. It's kind of dangerous as a right-handed hitter. It's got to be a little scary when you have a pitcher that kind of comes in from the side. You release that ball a little bit early, and bad things can happen.
Yeah, that was a little scary.
Here's the 1-2. Swung on, and that's crushed. It's foul, but that ball was absolutely hammered out of here.
Yeah, if that one stays fair, that is not just the second run of this ball game.
That's landing at the beach.
Yeah, I mean, that would fire up the team, too, if you can hit one like that. That could turn into some good things for the Rockers.
Here's the 1-2 from Cushmall. That's down in the dirt. Good job by Ladendorf to lay off of that one. Counts even at 2. As I was saying, both bullpens quiet right now. We see Sam Runyon walking down to the bullpen, but just going to join his teammates down there.
And we have the Off the Rockers podcast coming up this week. It'll be available on Monday.
Ladendorf swings, fouls it off again. He's single-handedly destroying Cushmall's pitch count right now.
Oh, he absolutely is. And he had another at-bat earlier that did the same thing. So he keeps putting the Rockers in good spots here. As we said, yes, this bullpen is great, but getting Cushmall out would probably be a good thing here for the Rockers.
And the 2-2 swung on, and this is hit foul, but Espinal looks like he's going to have a play on it. It hits the screen. Yet another foul ball from Ladendorf. And, you know, in today's day and age of baseball, 40 or 50 years ago, this wouldn't be a big deal, but driving up a pitcher's pitch count is really a unspoken, unheralded trait. And, you talk about guys, good fielder, good hitter, good this, good that. Running up a guy's pitch count is a good skill to have now.
And so many things go into that. Your you got a good eye. You make good contact.
Here's the 2-2. Swung on, and again a shot that's out of play down the left field side. Ladendorf has hit 2 home runs foul here in this at-bat.
And they're close. If he can get one down the alley, it's a home run.
That one maybe didn't quite get to the beach, but it got to Raleigh.
Yeah, I'm about to say it got to Raleigh.
2 balls, 2 strikes. This is something like the 11th or 12th pitch of the at-bat coming. Cushmall steps off of the rubber. Two foul home runs count for one, right? No, that's not how this works. Cushmall deals. Here's the 2-2. Swung on, and that's hit into center field, but not deep. Racing in and having to play it on a hop is the center fielder, Kraus. Thought he had a beat on it, but he slowed up at the last moment. I think if he kept charging, he makes the catch. I almost wondered, Kevin, if maybe he lost it again.
I think maybe he lost it, or maybe he misjudged it, and the not to keep talking about the turf, but you got to imagine maybe that came into it, but it takes a bounce there, and regardless of how it came up, you're glad to see Tyler Ladendorf get a hit because you love to see a guy rewarded after a great at-bat like that. You'd hate to see him just go back to the dugout, and he got a real reward out of that one.
And that's draining on a pitcher as well to battle that hard and end up not winning. It brings up via Sergi Rosa, the designated hitter. Rosa swings and fouls this one up out of play over the third base side. Wonder if that started to send up a couple of warning bells for the Somerset Patriots. They've got some action up in the bullpen. Somebody's starting to throw right now.
Well, you saw the cavalry come out of the dugout there and quickly head down to the bullpen. This win, as we talked about with Mark Schwartz in the pregame interview, the broadcast for the Patriots, means a lot to the Patriots. They could tie up the all-time series right now. Or the season-long series, I should say, which is also, in the first season, the all-time series.
Cushmall takes a long look in, now delivers the 0-1 to Rosa. That's in there for a strike. Not only that, here's what I find hard to believe. If the Rockers can get to Cushmall here and get into that bullpen, it's hard to believe that Tyler Herron pitched longer into this game than Ryan Cushmall.
One thing I want to ask you about, and I think you'll have more expertise on this than I do, when Cushmall comes in, and I didn't see him do it last time, he shakes his glove. I'll talk about that in a second.
Here's the pitch, swung on and fouled back to the screen.
It's part of his routine. I would compare it to a guy shooting a free throw. Doesn't give him any kind of advantage. It's just what he does. But as a hitter, you're seeing him do that now. He's changed it now. He was doing it right in front of his body. Now he's turning and kind of doing it more in front of his face. But does when you being able to see a guy's whole routine like that help you time up a little bit better because it's so choreographed each time?
Well, yes and no. So basically what Cushmall's doing, I'll get to that after this 0-2 pitch to Rosa. That's going to miss down and away.
Am I totally off here?
By Cushmall changing the location or the number of times he wiggles his glove, he's throwing off your timing. So basically he started the game doing the same thing every time. Now he starts to change things up just a little bit. 90% of the time it'll have no effect on the hitter. They're just watching for the ball. But for the other 10% of the time, just trying to gain any kind of small advantage there to throw off your timing at the plate. Here's the pitch, swung on, and that's going to be lined into right field, but right towards Jimmy Paredes out there, who makes the catch, the throw on to first base, trying to double up Ladendorf is not in time.
How many times have we seen a hard hit be hit by the Rockers but go right to a Patriots player? And I had my timing thrown off there. He switched it up again. So, yeah, he is being tricky with that. So any kind of advantage I thought that was bringing, he's thought of that as well, and he uses that to his advantage to kind of use that as a distractor even.
Hector Gomez steps into the plate. He's 1 for 2. Yeah, this is a guy that in Cushmall doesn't throw particularly hard necessarily, and so he's just trying to do whatever it takes to get a little bit of an advantage.
That's a good move. I like that.
Check down to first base. Back in time safely is Ladendorf. It's the same thing with the way that he twists his body once he kicks his leg. You see a lot of Japanese pitchers do that. They come over. Hideo Nomo is one that comes to mind. Orlando Hernandez, El Duque with the high leg kick with the New York Yankees, something similar. Louis Tion in the 60s and 70s. You see Johnny Cueto do the same thing. It's all just about deception and distractions, what they're trying to do out there.
He's got a great pickup move as well.
He does. Pitch up and in to Gomez. And Bracamonte faking a throw down to first base sent Ladendorf scurrying back to the bag. Kushmal looks back over at first. Now comes set. Slide step throw is fouled by Gomez down the third base side towards the bullpen of the Patriots, so they count 2-1. Rocker's pen is quiet. Following Hector Gomez, you'll see Michael Russell, the second baseman. Rockers trying to chip a little bit more into this 4-1 deficit. They picked up their first run last half inning on the Cardullo double. Here's the pitch, runner goes. That's swung on and fouled out of play. You know, Gomez, they're having to protect with 2 strikes, but I think if he doesn't make contact with that ball, I think Ladendorf had the second base stolen there.
He's got a lot of speed, and one out here, Hector Gomez trying to stay alive. It's a 4-1 game, so here in the bottom of the 6th, the Rockers want to go sooner than later, and even though Kushmal is probably nearing the end of his stint out here today.
Quick throw over to first base. Ladendorf in. The count's still 1-2 to Gomez. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. We'll have a scoreboard report for you in the top of the 7th as another throw over to first base. Looking around the league, again, we mentioned Sugar Land is in good position to wrap up the Freedom Division. They should be able to win with a win or a York Revolution loss in their first game of the doubleheader. Another throw over to first base. So we will bring that to you in due time. Hector Gomez now taking his time getting set up in that right-handed batter's box. Here is the 1-2 runner goes. Gomez again spoiling a pitch foul. So really good at-bats by the Rockers this inning. Ladendorf spoiled a bunch of pitches. Hector Gomez is doing the same thing now.
And I want to give a little update real quick if I can.
Sure.
Because things are happening. The Freedom Division may not be as closed off as we thought for the Sugar Land Skeeters. A 7-5 game between the Barnstormers and the Revolution right now. And it is in the bottom of the 7th inning.
I think that game went final with a doubleheader. They're playing 2 7-inning games.
Oh, you're right. So that game is final there, so 7-5.
Here's the pitch inside, and the count goes full. So the Revolution do drop that game.
I thought it was the I forgot it was a doubleheader. So, yeah, the Revolution lost, and the Sugar Land Skeeters lead 2-1. So,
and according to my numbers here, that gives Sugar Land the title because they will finish at very least with a 500 record in the first half. The Revolution will not be able to get back to 500.
So scratch everything I said. Congratulations to the Sugar Land Skeeters. So it's the Ducks and the Sugar Land Skeeters, the first half champs for the Freedom and the Liberty.
Here's the 3-2. That's going to be hit up and out of play. And that's kind of what it looked like going into the weekend. It was going to be, obviously, the York Revolution gave them a good run, them being the Sugar Land Skeeters. But for the most part, the way things started the weekend is the way that they finish. Rockers and Patriots just battling it out now to be in position for the top wild card team.
And if you're York, you had such a good finish to this first half. You hope you can bring that into the second half and get off to a big start like the Sugar Land Skeeters did when they started.
Runner goes, 3-2 pitch. He jammed him, and it's going to be hit into shallow center field. Could be trouble. Nice catch there by Kelly, and the throw back onto first in time for the double play. So whatever balloon of momentum the Rockers have, pop it right there. And we go to the top half of the 7th inning after that double play. The Patriots lead 4-1. This is High Point Rockers baseball.
This is Rachel Mons, host of Hashtag No Filter Friday, here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my new show, Hashtag No Filter Friday, where we talk about all of the sexual misconduct allegations swirling around Hollywood. A new show drops every Friday at 8:30 Pacific Standard Time. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you'll never miss an episode of Hashtag No Filter Friday. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Spinning on the bats while they crunch down, put the jacket on, crunch back. You guys take off first when the hypes are winner. Are you ready?
What's up, everybody? This is Christian Heimel, host of Press Row here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Press Row, where we talk about the biggest issues in sports with the analysts, experts, and reporters who cover them. No nonsense, hard-hitting interviews on the sports topics you're talking about. The new show comes out every single Thursday. And don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Press Row. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again,
Hi, this is Peggy Rojas, host of Viviendo una Vida en Balance here at Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you can come back and check my show, Viviendo una Vida en Balance, where we talk about life hacks to live a life in balance. And this show's in Spanish. A new show comes out every Monday, so don't forget to subscribe on iTunes and share with your friends. Again, thank you for checking out the following broadcast in Public House Media.
This is Madeline.
Top of the 7th inning, Tyler Heron back out there for the Rockers. It'll be 7, 8, and 9, Navarro, Kelly, and Bracamonte. 3 scheduled hitters. Heron's first pitch, a check swing foul, and the count 0-1. Patriots lead the Rockers 4-1. So that weather forecast we gave pregame has changed in the last hour and a half or so. Here's the 0-1, swung on and hit high, hit foul. Gomez trying to shield his eyes from the sun. He's in foul territory. It's caught. Before we get to the weather forecast, that play really helped by the fact, Kevin, that there is a lot of foul territory here to work with on both sides.
Yeah, I think I made the joke earlier this series that it's not London Stadium like the Yankees and Red Sox baseball game where they had so much territory in that soccer stadium, but there is a ton of space, enough where they do the in between inning promotions. They can put like 8 people out there.
Yeah.
They're not in anybody's way.
Scott Kelly, who made a very nice catch to end the bottom of the 6th inning as the hitter takes ball 1. So we were supposed to be free of rain with just mostly cloudy skies. There's patchy storms all over now, so we could get hit with a couple of small things. If you look at the radar, it literally looks like a cheetah, just spots, random spots. That pitch swung on and lined into left field. It's a base hit for Scott Kelly. According to the Weather Channel, it says we might be in for a little bit in about 15, 20 minutes or so. But again, everything is small across the radar. It just seems to be a little more and more frequent.
And the game moving quickly. I don't think it'll be over in 20 minutes, but
no, probably not.
But the game is moving quickly here, so I do believe we should be out of here before too long, and we should be all right.
Even with that base hit to start the inning, Heron still. Runner goes. Here's the pitch upstairs. Nigro's throw down to second. It's a good throw. In time. What a throw. Frank Nigro with the quick pop and the gun down to second base for the out. Point I was going to say, even though that ball was hit hard, still nobody up in the High Point bullpen.
Back to the top of the order, second baseman, number 25, Craig Massey.
And on the other side of things, we head back to the top of, we go to the catcher. That was the catcher, I'm off one on my scorecard. No, I was right. That's Bracamonte, the hitter. Fouls the first pitch off and the count 0-1. So my apologies. It is the number 9 hitter, Bracamonte, the catcher. He is 0 for 2 today. And here is the 0-1, big swing and a miss there, count 0-2. There was a right-hander throwing in the Patriots bullpen. There's also a lefty standing there. And here is the pitch from Heron. 0-2, swung on and fouled up and out of play. And it's something we talked about earlier in the game. You know, the Patriots lead the league in ERA. There's not a bad spot in the bullpen or in the rotation, but you want to get into that rotation or into that bullpen, especially with the way that Kushmal has pitched today.
Yeah, at this point,
the 1-2 is away, 2-2.
At this point, I couldn't agree with you more. You've seen how good Kushmal has been. He's had some moments where there's been some threats, but unable to capitalize for the Rockers have been. So you're better off just trying to get him out of there as soon as possible so you can try something new. And you know what? Tyler Heron gave up 4 runs today, but has looked good other than that inning in the third where he gave up 3 home runs. He looked good other than that.
Here's the 2-2 swing and a foul back to the screen. So here's what I'm wondering. So if the Rockers go down 1-2-3 in the 7th, 1-2-3 in the 8th, Tyler Ladendorf leads off the 9th inning. He's probably sitting there going, hey, can you put Antonini back in? You're not going to see him 3 nights in a row. But
you don't think so?
No, I don't think so. Especially not a day game following a night game, which is also why you're seeing different catchers today. Here's the pitch. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. Strike 3. So it's a very solid 7th inning for Tyler Heron, and if that's it for him, he bounced back nicely. We go to the bottom of the 7th. It's stretch time here at the Point. High Point Rockers trail 4-1. We'll see if they can get the bats going next to the bottom of the 7th.
Tonight's 7th inning stretch is brought to you by McDonald's.
Host of the Cheap Seats here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, The Cheap Seats, where we talk about sports from the fans' perspective. A new show comes out every Monday. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of The Cheap Seats. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Hi, this is Emily.
This is Lindsay. And this is Elizabeth,
co-hosts of Beauties and Headcanons here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Once you are done with this episode, we hope you'll come check out our show, Beauties and Headcanons, where we talk nerdy to you about fandom, fan fiction, and all pop culture for nerds that you can think of. A new show comes out every Friday.
Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Beauties and Headcanons. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Julianne Condia, host of Rewritten here on Public House Media. Thank you so much for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you are done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Rewritten, where we will talk about you having limitless potential and can rewrite your story at any time. No matter your background, your past, or current situation, you can have the type of life you crave. A new show comes out every single Monday. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Rewritten. Thanks again.
Michael Russell leads off in the bottom of the 7th, takes first pitch strike from James Puglise, the new pitcher for the Somerset Patriots. We'll give you his numbers in a minute. First, we'll shut the door on a great day by Cushmall as Russell rips this one foul. Ryan Cushmall, 7 innings, gave up 5 hits, walked 1, hit 1, struck out a pair, and gave up just the 1 run on the bloop Stephen Cardulo double. So very, very solid outing for Cushmall today.
Oh, absolutely, and we talked about how great the bullpen is for the Patriots.
Russell fouls this one off, counting is still 0-2.
But as we've mentioned today, even though the bullpen is so great, you'd rather see them than Cushmall at this point because he was showing no signs of slowing down.
Sometimes you just need a change, and we'll see if that works here. It'll be Russell, Marinkov, and Almadove swings and a little chopper to second. And the push throw over there from Massey's in time to retire Michael Russell. Brings up Tyler Marinkov, singled and scored the Rockers' lone run of the game. Numbers on Pugliese so far this year. 3-0, 4.18 ERA. This is his 22nd appearance, 28 innings, 29 strikeouts, but opponents hit 277 off of him. Here is Marinkov. Swing and a foul. 1-for-2 tonight. You know, it's interesting. The Rockers only have 5 hits in this game, but they're making a lot of contact. They've hit tons of foul balls today. That pitch fouled off as well. Obviously, foul balls are a frequent part of baseball. It just feels like they've been doing it more than normally tonight. Today, I should say.
Tonight. Same thing.
It's tonight somewhere.
It's almost 4 o'clock.
So quickly, 0-2 to the second straight hitter. Pugliese deals. Here's a weak ground ball to Kelly at short. Picks it up, throws to first in time. And that's the second out of the inning.
Pitching for Somerset, number 50, James Pugliese.
Brings up Breland Almadova, who is 0-for-2 tonight.
The left fielder, number 33, Breland Almadova.
His batting average has dipped just under 300 with his 0-for-2 performance so far today. And I'm talking like 299, 298. Here's the pitch from Pugliese. And that's going to miss down and away. Sometimes it's a bit of an adjustment going from a guy like Cushmall, who doesn't necessarily throw as hard, to a guy like Pugliese, who throws noticeably harder. Here's the pitch, swung on, and that's going to be hit into left center field. It will drop for a base hit. Kelly jumped for it, but clearly had no chance at it.
He got a lot closer than I think he thought he was going to get there. And made a nice-looking play. And here comes Frank Nigro with a man on, bottom of the 7th. And the Rockers very much still in this ballgame.
Nigro, a guy who's not been here very long, still waiting to get the bat going. He's got a good opportunity here. At least the Rockers would like him to have a good opportunity. Almadova takes his lead off of first base. Don't really expect him to run here. Nigro swings and hits a high pop-up in foul territory. Espinal struggling, but he's calling for it. It makes the catch. So the 2-out single by Almadova doesn't come in to haunt them. Them being the Patriots as Nigro pops up into foul territory. And we go to the 8th inning. We'll see if it's Tyler Herron. It will be back out for an 8th inning as the Rockers look to hold the deficit at 3. It's 4-1. You're listening to High Point Rockers Baseball.
All right, Rocker fans, it's time for our 7th inning selfie
Here on Public House Media. I just want to thank you for listening to the following broadcast brought to you by Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope that you'll come check out my show, How to Write Good, the writing show that is not about writing. A new show of How to Write Good comes up every Wednesday, so don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of How to Write Good. Again, thanks for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Bryce Burge, host of Your Soccer Passport here on Public House Media. After this episode, come join us on a trip around the soccer world as we discuss club and country every Tuesday. Stamp your soccer passport by subscribing on Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you get your Public House Media podcasts. And thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Dr. Mariah White, host of Your Life Matters, here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you are done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Your Life Matters, where we talk about dreaming big and dreaming bold to reach your wildest dreams in both your health and your happiness. A new show comes out every single Tuesday. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you'll never miss an episode of Your Life Matters.
Craig Massey will lead off in the 8th inning against Tyler Heron, who drops a filthy curveball swing, strike one. That might be the best pitch I've seen from Heron tonight here in the 8th inning.
And Heron, it's only a 3-run game with him still in here, and
another curveball. Massey ready for this one, but hits a high fly ball into left field. Almadova fighting the sun, but he makes the catch. Only has to move a couple of steps, out number one.
if he can get you through 8, you would be thrilled, and I still don't see anybody up around in the bullpen. So if he can get out of this one, for the most part unscathed, other than the first and third inning, he might be going a full game here.
Lefty is up in the bullpen for the Patriots. Looks like Luis Cruz from here. Heron deals first pitch to Paredes, who homered earlier. Check swing, strike one. The crazy thing is we see Kelly head down to the Rockers bullpen. The crazy thing is after the second or third inning, we're like, okay, if Heron could just give us 5, and if he could just give us 6. Well, here he is in the 8th inning. Paredes swings and loops a high fly ball to left field. It's starting to go back. Almadova looking, reaching, gone. A solo home run for Jimmy Paredes. His second of the game, the 5th solo home run allowed by Tyler Heron.
I was going to say Paredes going yard here again, twice on the day. Both shots were impressive. Almadova was scouting it out there on the warning track. Looked like he was going to have a serious chance at it, but just could not get his glove over the wall to grab it.
For Paredes, that is his 5th home run in 12 games with the Patriots. That pitch in there for a strike to Kinger. He's homered today. The long ball doing the Rockers in right now. 5 solo shots. That pitch fouled off. And the count 0-2. But if they can get something going, pick a run or two up here in the bottom of the 8th inning, they'll still feel very much in this game. Count 0-2 to Kinger. 1 out, top of the 8th inning. And here's the pitch. Swung on, and that's going to be hit into right field, a base hit. You got to think the Rockers bullpen's going to start going here.
Yeah, they are moving in that way here with a runner on, 1 out, and it is a 5-1 game. 9 hits in the ball game here for the Somerset Patriots, and there is officially some movement down there in the bullpen.
Next Somerset hitter will be Edwin Espinal. He's homered today as well. A home run and a double. That pitch in there, it's a called strike. I believe the rocker down there is Hutchinson.
The Patriots would love to add a few more insurance runs. If you're Tyler Heron, you're looking for a ground rule or a grounder and get you out of this one.
I can confirm that is Chase Hutchinson down there in the bullpen, count 1-1.
And Chase Hutchinson is a big man, especially when he gets out on to that mound. 6'5".
1 ball and a strike. Here's the pitch. It's a curveball skipping in there. Good block there by Nigro. He really snared it with the glove. The wind has started to pick up here. You see the players' jerseys blowing around, the flags blowing around a little bit as well. Heron trying to get out of this 8th inning. Here's the pitch, swung on and fouled back to the screen, 2-2. really like to pick up a double play here and get out of an injury evening on a nice double play.
No, that would be perfect for the Rockers because then they get out of the inning and you get the 8 you were looking for. You maybe weren't looking for that, but then once the game started going on, you're happy to have.
Here's the 2-2 swung on and fouled up out of play. And it's a really odd kind of stat line for Tyler Herron. You look at him and go, wow, that's impressive. He's in the 8th inning. You say, wow, he gave him 5 runs, and all 5 were home runs.
And it would have popped your eyes a little bit better if it was a 3-run deficit. But that 4-run deficit just feels a little bit differently. But as we mentioned, this is still a good Rockers offense that can get something going. But the Patriots have looked impressive here today.
And here's the pitch, swung on and fouled up out of play as well. Count still 2-2. Herron slowing things down here a little bit in the 8th inning, trying to take command of the situation. Comes set, ready to deliver to Espinal. Here's the pitch, swung on. That's hit in the air to right field, looking for the corner. It drops foul.
Just foul, by the way.
It did. Marinko ran a long way. Good chance that scores Kinger from first if it stays fair. So the count still is 2-2. And here's the pitch from Herron. There's a ground ball. It's going to get right past Cardullo into right field, base hit. 10th hit of the game. And I think that's going to be it for Herron.
Yeah, this brings in Jamie Keefe, and you'll have Tyler Herron, who went 7 1/3. When you look back at it, all you need is 2 outs here in the 8th inning. So definitely save that bullpen here today, and Herron comes off to some applause here at BB&T Stadium. A nice round of applause, or BB&T Point, I should say. A nice round of applause for him. 5-1. The Rockers still have a shot here. 4 runs separate the two.
We'll step aside here, let Hutchinson warm up. When we come back, we'll see if he can hold things where they are. You're listening to High Point Rockers Baseball.
Filter Friday here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my new show, #NoFilterFriday, where we talk about all of the sexual misconduct allegations swirling around Hollywood. A new show drops every Friday at 8:30 Pacific Standard Time. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you'll never miss an episode of #NoFilterFriday. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
What's up, everybody? This is Christian Heimel, host of Press Row here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Press Row, where we talk about the biggest issues in sports with the analysts, experts, and reporters who cover them. No nonsense, hard-hitting interviews on the sports topics you're talking about. The new show comes out every single Thursday. And don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Press Row. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Hi, this is Peggy Rojas, host of Viviendo una Vida en Balance here at Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you can come back and check my show, Viviendo una Vida en Balance, where we talk about life hacks to live a life in balance. And the show's in Spanish. A new show comes out every Monday, so don't forget to subscribe on iTunes and share with your friends. Again, thank you for checking out the following broadcast in Public House Media.
New pitcher, new hitter. Pinch hitting here for the Somerset Patriots is Justin Pacioli. They wanted to get a right-handed hitter to face Hutchinson, our new pitcher for the High Point Rockers. Why don't you give us Chase Hutchinson's numbers?
He is coming in today with a 3-1 record, 3 wins, 1 loss, 2.39 is his ERA.
Hutchinson deals, and this one's in there for a called strike, 1-1.
He's pitched 26 1/3 innings. and has 25 strikeouts.
We'll close the book on Tyler Herron here in just a moment. Runners on first and second, one out top of the 8th inning. Patriots lead 5-1. Pacioli swings high drive into deep left center field, racing back and making a catch. No, he didn't. It's off the wall. Thought he caught it. It's going to be off the wall. Runner is heading home. The throw is not in time. That was Kinger that scores. It was a great effort by Breland Almadova, and he slowed down. I thought he caught it, but he was all the way back in the corner of the left center field wall. It's an RBI double off of the bat of pinch hitter Justin Pacioli. Now 6-1 Patriots. Edwin Espinal goes to third.
And it is 6-1 now here for the Patriots. Hutchinson with 2 runners on and 1 out.
Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Michael Kraus way out and above that one.
And Kraus trying to get out of, Hutchinson trying to get out of trouble here, and would be rather difficult to get a double play here. If he did, it would not be of the orthodox variety.
This pitch down and in, 1-1. So if things hold as they are and the Patriots win today, they will have a 1.5 game lead over the Rockers for the wild card spot heading into the second half of the season. So that'll be something that we will monitor closely as it plays out through the months of July and August. This pitch is going to miss away, 2-1. Espinal takes his lead off of third. Pacioli off of second. As Hutchinson looking to get out of the inning, limiting the damage where it is. Here's a chopper to short. Ladendorf's only plays to first in time. Espinal will score. 7-1 is the tally now. Pacioli to third. Just a high chopper. Ladendorf has to come in and charge that one. His only play to first base. Now we can close the book on Tyler Herron, and this is one of the oddest line scores I have seen in a while, and I'll give that to you here. First, the pitch to the third baseman, Ray Navarro, from Hutchinson. That's going to miss down and in, ball 1. So Tyler Herron goes 7 1/3, gave up 10 hits, 2 strikeouts, 7 runs allowed, all of them earned. It's odd to have a starting pitcher go into the 8th inning and give up 7 earned runs. Two big things I will say to his credit. First, he went into the 8th inning, so that helps the bullpen a lot, as that one just misses. Not a bad spot to miss at all, 2-0. But the other thing, for the second night in a row, Rocker starter has gone 7+ and not allowed a single walk.
Also, those 2 he's on the line for, he came out on that, so he didn't get a chance to try to get out of it.
Swung on and grounded towards short. Ladendorf backhands it, throw on to first in time, but 3 more runs cross the dish for the Patriots. And we head now to the bottom of the 8th inning. It is 7-1 in favor of Somerset. Rockers have a lot of work to do, and they've got the top of the lineup coming up to try to start doing it here. We will step aside for a moment. Rockers baseball continues next.
This is Julianne Condia, host of Rewritten, here on Public House Media. Thank you so much for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you are done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Rewritten, where we will talk about you having limitless potential and can rewrite your story at any time. No matter your background, your past, your current situation, you can have the type of life you crave. A new show comes out every single Monday. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Rewritten. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
And
This is John Lauder, host of The Cheap Seats here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, The Cheap Seats, where we talk about sports from the fans' perspective. A new show comes out every Monday. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of The Cheap Seats. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Kim Meyer, the host of Choose to Rise here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Choose to Rise, where we talk about living with positive mindsets, how to increase our confidence, building our faith, and living out our life on purpose. A new show comes out via podcast every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And if you want to catch the episode live instead, stop by Public House Media around 6:45 Central Standard Time, Monday, Wednesday, Friday as well. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you'll never miss an episode of Choose to Rise. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
James Pugliese back on the mound for the Patriots. Bottom of the 8th inning, Somerset leads, High Point 7-1. Cardullo swings first pitch. It's a slow grounder to short. Kelly picks up, fires on to first. One pitch and one out here in the 8th inning. Luis Cruz is up and ready in the Somerset bullpen. Now it looks like there's another left-hander out there. Miles Schroeder, the hitter, he is 0 for 2 today, has also walked. And here's the pitch. A curveball dropped in there by Pugliese, called strike. Again, the All-Star game, we mentioned it earlier in the broadcast, is July 10th in York, Pennsylvania. That one just misses 1-1. Rocker's sending 7 All-Stars. Asher Tolliver, Brian Clark, Joe Van Meter. That one is ripped foul off of the bat of Miles Clark, Miles Schroeder rather. Second time he's done that today.
And that was a big deal yesterday, or last inning the first out of the inning for Pugliese to get Cardullo to go down on one pitch there.
Here's the 1-2, swung on and pops this one up in the infield. Espinal there, Massey there, Espinal calling for it. That's the first baseman. He makes the catch, out number 2. Finishing up that list of All-Stars, we said Asher Tolliver, Brian Clark, Sam Runyon, Joe Van Meter. Then you have a couple of hitters in Tyler Ladendorf, Stephen Cardullo, and Braylon Almadova. That's going to close the door on Pugliese, and the Patriots go back to the bullpen here. And I believe it is Luis Cruz. So we'll step aside and we'll give you his information when we come back. Rockers still trail 7-1.
Hi, this is Emily.
This is Lindsay.
And this is Elizabeth,
co-hosts of Beauties and Headcanons here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Once you are done with this episode, we hope you'll come check out our show, Beauties and Headcanons, where we talk nerdy to you about fandoms, fan fiction, and all pop culture for nerds that you can think of. A new show comes out every Friday.
Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Beauties and Headcanons. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Daniel Poppy, host of How to Write Good here on Public House Media. I just want to thank you for listening to the following broadcast brought to you by Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope that you'll come check out my show, How to Write Good, the writing show that is not about writing. A new show of How to Write Good comes out every Wednesday, so don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of How to Write Good. Again, thanks for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Bryce Burge, host of Your Soccer Passport here on Public House Media. After this episode, come join us on a trip around the soccer world as we discuss club and country every Tuesday. Stamp your soccer passport by subscribing on Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you get your Public House Media podcasts. And thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Luis Cruz, the new pitcher for the Somerset Patriots. We'll go ahead and take a look at his numbers.
Yes, we will. A 2.60 ERA. He has pitched 27 2/3 innings. He has 24 strikeouts, and his win-loss record is 1 win, 2 losses. Cruz works quick. He has a lot of energy out there. I like watching him pitch.
First pitch to Tyler Ladendorf, misses ball 1. Ladendorf's been hit by a pitch, has struck out, and has singled. One of the 7 Rocker All-Stars. Big swing and a miss. Count is 0-1. Before singling that last at-bat, though, 2 monstrous shots off of his bat. Both of them land just foul down the left field side.
And that was a long at-bat. You were happy to see him get rewarded on that one.
Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled right back to the screen, and the count 1-2. We're in the 8th inning. Kendrick Fruits, Kevin McMahon with you. Dark clouds kind of forming overhead to the left, but to the right starting to look a little bit better. We mentioned it's just kind of patchy stuff here this afternoon. Curveball's going to stay down low in the count 2-2. Rockers back in action, at least back at home, July 19th, so 12 days off. We mentioned the All-Star game, July 10th, home run derby at 5:45, All-Star game at 7. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3 for the final out of the inning. We go to the 9th, Rockers down by 6, and it looks like Chase Hutchinson will be back out for High Point. We'll step aside and bring you the 9th inning next. This is High Point Rockers Baseball.
This is Bryce Burge, host of Your Soccer Passport here on Public House Media. After this episode, come join us on a trip around the soccer world as we discuss club and country every Tuesday. Stamp your soccer passport by subscribing on Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you get your Public House Media podcasts. And thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Daniel Poppy, host of How to Write Good here on Public House Media. I just want to thank you for listening to the following broadcast brought to you by Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope that you'll come check out my show, How to Write Good, the writing show that is not about writing. A new show of How to Write Good comes out every Wednesday, so don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of How to Write Good. Again, thanks for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Bryce Burge.
This is Dr. Mariah White, host of Your Life Matters, here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you are done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Your Life Matters, where we talk about dreaming big and dreaming bold to reach your wildest dreams in both your health and your happiness. A new show comes out every single Tuesday. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you'll never miss an episode of Your Life Matters. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Chase Hutchinson back out in the 9th inning. He will be facing Scott Kelly to lead off, and then Bracamonte, the catcher, and then back to the top, Massey. First pitch to Kelly downstairs.
And Hutchinson trying to get 3 quick ones here.
The 1-0 pitch is in there for a called strike. Count 1-1. Patriots lead the Rockers 7-1. As we conclude the first half of the season, here's the pitch. Check swing. They're going to look down to first and say, did he go? He did not. Count 2-1.
And you can help me with this stat here.
Sure.
But I think the Somerset Patriots as a team have held the Rockers to 4 runs total over this series, which is a pretty big feat seeing how much offensive power there is.
That pitch is going to miss inside, 3-1. Yeah, absolutely. Talking about, the offensive juggernaut that is the High Point Rockers batting order, and really been neutralized by this Somerset staff. Here's the 3-1 from Hutchinson, in there for a called strike.
We talk about run differential, and we talked about it with Sam Runyon, and he brought up a great point. When the Rockers win, they usually tend to win by quite a bit, and when they lose, it's usually close. That's not the case here today.
Here's the 3-2. That's going to miss well outside. Ball 4, leadoff walk here in the 7th inning. Kevin, how about a little this day in baseball history?
From you?
Yeah.
For me, I got nothing for you.
I was waiting on it. No, I've got 2 for you. July 7th, 1948. I looked this up. Don't worry.
I was about to say he has no notes.
No,
So
I looked this up earlier.
Okay.
The Cleveland Indians signed 42-year-old Satchel Paige from the Negro Leagues. Satchel Paige goes 6-1 the rest of the way, helps the Cleveland Indians win the 1948 World Series.
That's a great one.
That pitch down low, and the count 1-0. This next one I really didn't need any notes for because I remember this as a kid. 2007, the All-Star Game in Houston. Ichiro becomes the first player to hit an inside-the-park home run in the All-Star Game. That pitch will be in there for a called strike, 1-1. I remember watching that game. I was at the beach at Emerald Isle downstairs in the basement on a little TV watching that game. And for anybody who, I don't know who hasn't seen him, but Ichiro was such a treat to watch. So much speed. He played baseball with so much passion, and truly one of the great moments I remember watching on television. Here's a ground ball to short. Ladendorf to Russell for 1. The throw on to first in time. A 6-4-3 double play for 2 quick outs here in the 9th.
Great play by Hutchinson there. And the Rockers, he has a good pitch, and the Rockers are able to turn 2. And another note about Ichiro Suzuki. I think he is responsible for one of my favorite moments in baseball ever, which happened this year when he got the ovation and when he came out of the game at the Tokyo Dome. That is one of my favorites.
Here's Craig Massey. He homered back in the 3rd inning, 0 for 4 otherwise. And that one misses ball 1. Check that. It was a strike. 0-1 the count. Here's the pitch from Hutchinson. Swung on. There's a weak ground ball to Cordulo at first base. He will step on the bag to retire the side. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Yesterday, the Rockers were down in the 9th inning. They had some magic. This time, the order's a little bit steeper. They need 6 runs. Can they do it? We'll find out next. This is High Point Rockers Baseball.
This is Madeline, host of Crowned and Dangerous, here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you are done with this episode, I hope you'll come back to check out my show, Crowned and Dangerous, where Jessica and I talk about our time in the pageant world. A new show comes out bi-weekly on Thursdays. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Crowned and Dangerous. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Jessica Hammer, co-host of Crowned and Dangerous here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you are done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Crowned and Dangerous, where Maddie and I talk about all things pageant related, especially our experiences in the Miss America organization. A new show comes out bi-weekly, every other Thursday. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Crowned and Dangerous. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
How's it going, everybody?
Hey guys,
This is Keith.
and Katie from Coffee with Keith and Katie on Public House Media.
Thanks for listening to the following broadcasts on Public House Media.
When you're done listening to this show, I hope you'll come check out our show, Coffee with Keith and Katie. A new episode comes out every Sunday morning at 9 o'clock.
Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Jenna Burt, host of the Confessions of a Military Spouse podcast here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Confessions of a Military Spouse, where we dig deep and talk about the unspoken hard truths of what it's really like to be a military spouse. A new show comes out bi-weekly. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Confessions of a Military Spouse. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Bottom of the ninth inning, Rockers have 4, 5, and 6 coming up. They need 6 runs. New pitcher Mike Broadway for the Patriots as Villa Sergio Rosa skies a pop-up just into foul territory. Treading the line is the third baseman Navarro, walking like a tightrope and makes the catch for out number 1. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the ninth inning. New pitcher for the Patriots is Mike Broadway, a well-traveled gentleman. He spent time with the San Francisco Giants, has been in the Venezuelan Winter League, has been in the Mexican Winter League, and even had a stint with Yokohama in the Japanese League.
I thought the sun was shining a little bit brighter. The lights got a little bit brighter as Broadway is out there now.
I see what you did there. Here's the pitch to Hector Gomez in there for a called strike. You have Broadway's numbers on the season?
I do. He is a 1-3 record. He has 2.73 ERA. He has pitched 29 in 2/3 innings.
And the righty deals down and in to Gomez. Counts 1-1.
42 strikeouts. Sorry, go ahead.
You're good. He pitched for the Giants 2015 and 2016. So just missed out on some of those World Series teams. Swing and a miss. Gomez all over that one, and the count is 1-2.
And if you're the Somerset Patriots, you're probably pretty disappointed that you didn't win the first half because you were so close and you were in a good spot. And when you look back and see that the Ducks actually lost yesterday, it would have been a good time to make a move. But if you can leave High Point with a series win, you'll feel pretty good about that.
The 1-2 to Gomez, swing and a miss. He chased that one down and away. Probably should have left that one alone. And there's now 2 away. They're down to the final out. Michael Russell, the hitter. One thing we were talking about, with having about a week or so off here for the All-Star break, that's plenty of time to get this game, push it out of your mind.
Yeah.
The Rockers know they're a better team than this, and that gives them plenty of time. We said that having a break like that kind of kills momentum either way. If you're in a big losing streak, it wipes it out. If you're in a big winning streak, it kind of wipes it out in the same sense as that pitch misses up and in ball 1, simply because you got to take time off now.
Yeah, and that's why you play to a half, because, somebody wins the first half and they clinch a playoff spot. So the second half is a brand new start of a season.
Russell swings, pops this one up. Espinal looking for it in foul territory and makes the catch. So a quick 1-2-3 in the ninth, and that will wrap this one up. Kind of feels anticlimactic after the back-to-back home runs to win yesterday's game, but that's how the first half of the season finishes, with a 7-1 Somerset Patriots victory. And Kevin, like we were just saying, not the way the Rockers wanted to end the first half, but they have a week now. They can regroup and get ready to go in the second half.
No, and this is not a good representation of how this homestand has been, because that was not how this has been. The Rockers will look back at this game and it'll just be another one of the 70. I think the ones they'll remember fondly, the Matt Jones walk-off, the Quincy Lattimore walk-off. I mean, all the big wins they had, winning on the 4th of July. So many great memories. A tough one here today. Some things that you can look back and be happy about. But some things they're definitely going to want to improve, and a little bit of rest. And you know what? The bullpen getting extra rest today, that's a positive. Tyler Herron, even though he had some trouble at the end in spots, looks pretty good today and went pretty long. So things you can be happy about. But like I said, this is not the fullest representation of the homestand, because actually a winning effort, 4-3, a lot of things to be happy about if you're the Rockers.
Yeah, the story of the day was the solo home run Massey goes deep in the third. Paredes goes deep in the third. Espinal goes deep in the third. Kinger, a solo home run in the third inning. And then also Paredes hit his second home run of the game back in the eighth inning. A couple other runs tacked on after that. That's how we end up with our final score. Tyler Herron takes the loss. He drops to 2-5 on the year. Ryan Cushmall picking up the win. He improves to 2-2, so a really solid outing for him. Really quickly, Kevin, there's really not a whole lot to unpack with this game. And if this was a NFL game, sometimes you see coaches just say, we're just going to throw the tape out the window. Don't even bother reviewing this one. We know we're better than that. Say what?
We're
on to Cincinnati. Yeah, so I feel like that's kind of what this game is. Throw the tape out the window, go take your break, and then come back ready to go in the second half. So let's focus on something a little more exciting. Really quickly, before we step off the air, let's talk about our All-Stars one more time because they deserve all the attention right now.
Great call, and a lot of things to be excited about. One thing I just realized on the schedule that I think the All-Stars are excited about, the next games for the Rockers after the All-Star game, they're in York. So you can spend a few more days in York, Pennsylvania and not have to leave. So your trip to York, Pennsylvania can be when you stay for a little while or do whatever, but the All-Stars will already be there. And, so many guys to be excited about. Sam Runyon, Brian Clark, you got Asher Tolliver, you got Breland Almadova, you have Joe Van Meter, who we saw last night, Stephen Cardulo, and, of course, Tyler Ladendorf. I think that's everybody.
I was pulling up the schedule. I was not listening to your list.
I said Clark, Tolliver, Van Meter, and then you do Cardulo, Almadova, and Ladendorf.
And Runyon.
And Sam Runyon, who I got the first time. I missed this time.
Yeah, just a really deserving group. And you said, you could make a case for just about everybody making the All-Star team. And you're absolutely right. There's a bunch of guys here that deserve to go, and we're very happy for the guys that do get to go. Again, the All-Star game will be Wednesday, July 10th, Home Run Derby at 5:45. We expect to have a participant or two in that. We'll find out those details later, though. All-Star game itself set for 7 o'clock. And after that, Rockers stay in York, as you mentioned, the 12th, 13th, and 14th. They take the 15th off. 3 games on the road at Lancaster. And then back at home Friday, July 19th against, looks like Southern Maryland for a 3-game set. First game Friday, July 19th, set for 6:30, and then fireworks on Saturday the 20th. So that is the next time we will be back with High Point Rockers baseball. Kevin, final thoughts before we go take our All-Star break.
And you deserve it. We all deserve it.
We all deserve it. I'm ready to keep going. I just got here Tuesday, man.
A few thoughts. Not that, you, like you said, throw this one out the window, but the one to remember, and I think the one that the Rockers will hang their hat on, is how they came together and got a huge win yesterday in a game that looked wrapped up, if we can be honest. In the 9th inning, it looked like the Patriots were going to come out. They brought out the best closer in the Atlantic League. As you heard Schwartz say, he's on pace to have the most saves in Atlantic League history. That's how good Antonetti's been playing. And you're able to win the game on 2 home runs, one a walk-off in really dramatic fashion. You celebrate that one, you remember that one, and you use things like that, stuff that came from this series or this homestand, and you remember that you won the Barnstormer series, and you played close in every game here except for today. And you move on and you get ready to go, and like you said, you celebrate your All-Stars, and you celebrate the fact that coming into this homestand up until, what's today? Sunday? Friday, you were still in the race. First season, remarkable, and that puts you in a good spot to be ready for the second half and get off to the races.
Speaking of races, we're seeing the kids running the bases right now. And the final thoughts here from me, I think a lot of what you said, I want to just echo a bunch of that. Put this one in the rearview mirror. You're a really good baseball team. You're going to be in contention for the second half. If not for the division crown, then certainly for the wild card. You know that you've got the talent, and certainly expect to see the Rockers have more memorable moments in the second half. But yeah, take a much-needed break. Enjoy the All-Star break. Again, that will be available to see, I believe, being streamed on July 10th from York, Pennsylvania. The final score again here, the Somerset Patriots 7, your High Point Rockers 1. For High Point, they drop to 41-30 on the year. So we'll step aside and be back on July 19th at 6:30. It's the next home game for your High Point Rockers. So for everyone here at High Point Rockers Baseball, for Kevin McMahon, I am Kendrick Fruit saying good afternoon, so long, happy All-Star break, and we'll see you July 19th.